Welcome, everybody. Sorry, I had to manually reset my phone. I got up the phone with Jesse. I was finishing up doing stuff for here, and lo and behold, but my phone touchscreen would not work. I could not open it. I could not type in my password. I could not do any freaking thing. Like, I literally was on the phone with Jesse. I got off. I went to go open it up, check my messages real quick before I did this, and it would not respond to my hand. So then I had to look up how to manually make my phone shut off and reset. And so for anybody who doesn't know and you have a Samsung, I'm going to tell you how to do it, just in case you ever come across this freaking problem. So this bottom volume button and the power button together, and you hold it for 7 seconds, and then it'll shut your phone off and turn it back on. I literally had to do that because it would not let me do anything at all. And I was panicking because, well, that's the only phone I got. And it's old. It's like 4 years old. So, it's bound to crap out at some point, somewhere, some way, So nonetheless, right, I had to spend a couple extra minutes doing that. And then I had to get the audio working here. So I knew how to turn it off. Like, usually I just turn it off with, you press the button that says reset or shut off. You press the power button on the side, but my phone's locked. So if you can't do, you have to unlock it to do anything, including shut it off, right? And you have to be able to touch the screen, and the touch wasn't working. So even if I do this to shut it off, right, the thing will pop up. And then if you can't touch it to shut it off, I don't know. So I was like, if it won't let me touch it to shut it off, how the hell do I shut it off? So I looked it up, and it's just the bottom power button and the bottom volume button and the power button. So that's what I did. And I don't have an iPhone. Yeah, no, I have an Android. So you have to be able to press the button, right? And so that was no good. So I had to fix that because I don't want to be able to answer anyone except on the computer. And obviously I need my phone. That's a big part of what I do here, is getting messages and streamlining things via the phone. So I was like, yeah, this is not good, not even a little bit. And I think today is going to be the day that I turn the heat on in the house, because as you can see, I'm wearing my sweatshirt again because it's cold. It's cold. It's like, you're not freezing outside. It's still cold, but not freezing. And I'm like, God damn, I need to put the heat on in the house today. And I think today's probably the day I'm going to have to, start up the heat for the winter, even though I dreaded doing it because the bills are so fucking high in the winter time, especially for Massachusetts for gas. I'm like, you know what? It's too cold to not turn the freaking heat on. So, okay. So I heard from a bunch of you between last night and today. I went to sleep before JFK's show happened last night. I was really tired. So I heard some shit happened, right? I heard he had Nan on, which is not a good look. And Sam and other people were trying to warn them. Like, hey, we're talking about the same unethical woman that just shared a voicemail from a potential client to a man who she had an order on. So, you might want to watch your back, because it's not someone you can trust, obviously. It's kind of obvious at this point. And Sam and a couple other people got timed out or booted. Hello, Emily, for saying so. It's unfortunate. That's unfortunate to me. JJ's James Jackson. She means James Jackson. She didn't get booted for talking about it there. So that tells you what you need to know. But if I had to speculate on why, I'd put it in rice. If it was wet, I would, but it wasn't wet. It wasn't even that it was wet or anything. It just wouldn't respond to touch, which was weird. It just did it out of nowhere. I literally hung up with Jessie, and it just all of a sudden wouldn't do anything after. And it was, actually, I should say, I hung up with her and I plugged it in because it was on 5%. And then it wouldn't do anything. And I was like, son of a... It's probably me plugging it into a charger over here on the computer than it was my regular one. So it's probably that did it. But nonetheless, it's still a pain in my ass. And it wasn't... If it was wet, I probably would have tried the rice trick for sure. because I just left a comment explaining the situation since he kept asking why is she being harassed a couple hours ago. Interesting. So that, I mean, it was a fact. It is a fact. You're 100% right. It's a fact. It wasn't something you were being rude about. It's a fact. And for me, if I had to speculate, I would speculate the same, Sam. For me, it would be, it's the money, right? It's the money. You know? That's what Discord's good for, you know? No, yeah, I didn't know how. If it's not an iPhone, yeah. It's different. It's a Samsung Galaxy Android, and also it's freaking 4 years old, so there's that. But that's the thing, right? I think that turned a lot of people off. And it would have turned me up. Hey, Tanya, thank you so much. I appreciate you. It would have turned me off as well, because it's clear to me that the only reason that you wouldn't call out that kind of bad behavior, or you would condone that bad behavior, is if, you know, that person's got so much money that they keep donating to you, and that's why. And I'm sorry, but that's just gross. That's an ethical boundary for me. I don't give a shit. Listen, I gave up a lot of money when it came to the Karen Reid trial, for saying the things that I thought to be true, but not popular belief, right? That was a lot of money that got flushed down the drain. But I can't sit there and lie. I can't do it. I'm not going to lie about what I feel is right and where the evidence leads me specifically when I'm looking at it. Just for the dollars. I would love them. I need them, right? But if you start crossing that boundary, when do you ever come back? Do you lose yourself in that? I believe that you do. And I will not lose myself for you two. I will not fucking do it. I will not. I absolutely will not fucking do it. It's just sad to me, you know? I did not. Is there a new one? Interesting. I totally understand. And it's a lot of people wanted to see them say something, you know? Hey, good morning, Cynthia. Ooh, Arizona, my friend. Ooh, I'd take that 90 over the cold here. I promise you I would. You know, I can't tune her out either, because I know what she did and I know why she did it. So I get it. Believe me, I get it. I totally understand it. I can't tune someone out that I know is just bullshitting, you know? But that's the thing. She posted why. She posted right on Aiden's Twitter account why, and that she was happy to do so right away. And she doubled and tripled down on being happy to do it. That's just gross. You know? Probably that's probably also another reason to piss her off. But I mean, for me, even if it was somebody who was affiliated with my show, I can't sit there and just not say anything. You know what I mean? I have to. I heard that there was some back and forth between her and Jess Machado. That's weird. I don't know why you would come in and say hi losers and then leave. It's kind of weird, but all right, cool. Whatever floats your fucking boat. I mute myself? No, I didn't. Did I? You guys can hear me, right? Oh, you mute it yourself. Oh, you mean like muting, listening to Nan. I get what you mean. Oh, she did a spaces this. I did not catch that. You can't hear me? You should be able to hear me. I'm not muted. Can everybody else hear me? Okay. I'm like, wait a second. Hold on. I'm not muted. Hold on. I know. See, here's the thing. I can't, in good conscience, listen to Nan. Nan Gallagher is Casey, the attorney that took the voice. Well, first of all, tricked Donna. Let's be clear here first. Donna called. Nan answered the phone. She asked for Nan. Nan said she wasn't her, and then said, I'll give you the voicemail. So she knew exactly what she was doing before she was doing it, right? In that moment, she was like, I'll send her to voicemail, and then I'll send the voicemail to Aiden, right? So then she sent her to voicemail, and, you know, Donna, not catching it at that point, left the voicemail, asking for legal advice. Within 5 minutes, Nan had given that voicemail to Aiden, which he then posted with Donna's number and all online. An attorney took a prospective client's information, including her phone number, and gave it to the man that she has a no harassment order against. And to help him break that no harassment order. It's unethical because as a potential client, a attorney has a responsibility to that person, even if they're not a client yet, to a prospective client for confidentiality. And that didn't happen. And then to boot, she purposely helped him harass Donna further. That is a huge fucking problem. A huge fucking problem. Weird, you know? He knows the tea. He knows the tea. I can't even make that excuse because normally I would give him the benefit of the doubt, but I can't. I know, Grave, right? Can't we just all play Kumbaya, my lord? I mean, that's pretty standard for her. It's also pretty standard for those creators, you know, $400 or $500 donations. That's pretty standard for them. They're bigger, you know, but that's the other problem. Do you just agree with someone because they give you large donations? You know, like, you know, I don't know. I have no idea. I don't like to be wherever she is, so I couldn't answer that question. I have no idea. Of course she did. Yeah, I agree with you, Sam. If she ran her friggin' mouth, she doesn't even know me. So there's that. The lady's never met me a day in her life. I simply called out her unethical behavior, and she went into personal insults and attacks. Why? Because she can't argue the actual problem, which is you're a lawyer who broke your ethical duties, and now you know that the person that you broke them against is someone that I help, right? And that someone is choosing to go forward with a complaint and to sue her. So I am apparently said target because I help the victim. I know I'm a horrible person for helping the victim, so I definitely deserve all that and then some, right? I didn't call her fat. I didn't call her ugly. I didn't make fun of the way she looks or where she lives or anything like that. I called out the behavior only. What is happening? Well, it's not until 1:50, and it's the whatchamajigget, oh, I just don't even. Thank you, Grave. I appreciate you, my friend. See, that's gross. I can't. But it's the order gets extended. Well, it's whether they extend the order. This is the sad part, though. You know, people don't deserve that shit. I probably am going to have to listen to that song. I had to delete Twitter. I don't blame you, Tanya. If I didn't need it for my show, thank you again. If I didn't need it for my show and ways for sources to be able to get a hold of me and stuff, I wouldn't fucking have it, to be honest with you. It's a cesspool. It really, really is. And I totally get it. I don't disagree with you, my friend. I do not. You're my source down, no more Twitter. I get it. And, you know, I'm not the only source. We have plenty of people around here who are, you know, helpful in sourcing information and sending me to certain places to look at things. And without all of you, there would be none of that, right? There would be none of that without all of you. Oh, girl, listen, I've done that so many times. Sit on the remote, accidentally press the remote. My little did it yesterday. We were watching something, we're like, God damn it. Oh, yeah, she definitely did. She was talking about poor people and food stamps and housing, and it's pretty gross. It was pretty gross, the shit that she said. Glyer did a live call-in after or during JFK. Watched it this morning. Wait, on JFK show? You like the pumpkin? Yeah, there was some overlays that I was like, oh, those are kind of cute. I want the pumpkin. I know Halloween's over, but it's still my favorite holiday. I don't think so. Not that I know of, no. I mean, see, that's the thing. That's all she can do is mean rants instead of addressing her actual behavior, right? No, yeah, an ethics complaint with the bar is to be filed with the police report. They're waiting to get the copy of the police report. It takes like 7 to 10 days usually. Sometimes you can get a little earlier, but waiting to have that before you make the complaint and attach the police report to it. It's gross. Of course he did. That's gross. That's just gross. That's just gross. Thank you, Grave. I appreciate you, my friend. I just don't even. It's just a little cray-cray to me, you know? Ironic that now we have two cults. Karen Reed supporters separate from TV supporters, split, still Delulu. So I think, to be honest, there's more than two. There's probably four, in my opinion, of the cult-like mentality, you know? It's a little crazy. I didn't miss your message. I just said it's happening at 1:50 tomorrow, and it's to extend the order. Didn't you hear me, lady? It's to extend the order. I mean, there's not really much happening beside that. That's all it's for, is to extend Donna's order. She was getting stuff put together to bring, you know? Yeah, she did say gross, disgust. I mean, that's what she does. You know what I mean? That's the kind of person you want to support, be my guest. That's your choice. I don't support someone like that, you know? Yeah, it's not okay. I mean, to make fun of people in general about where they live, how much money they make, that's just tone deaf. Everybody struggles. That's life. You know, it's life. Oh, thank you, Wallflower. I appreciate you. It's just sad, really, because I'm not the only person on planet Earth that struggles. No problem, my friend. Well, that's, listen, I'm not a big creator, so no. It's funny to me that a lot of these creators that make like buku bucks, and maybe JFK doesn't have to struggle because he's getting 50, 60 super chats per night plus cash apps and Venmos. I don't get that. So I'm a smaller channel, but I do believe that maybe some of the reason why he continues to have her on or support her is because of the money, which is weird to me because no amount of money is going to take my ethics from me. No amount of money is going to make. If somebody associated with my channel said something like that, I would have to comment on it. I'm not just going to sit there. And I'm definitely not going to have them back on my channel. That's just me, right? That's my choice. I just think that would be my call out on that. Let's be clear. Like, we know you don't. We know you don't. But it to me, that tells me that she thinks that because she has a ton of money, that makes her better than everyone else. And that, she gets to decide. She can walk a mile in my shoes and then talk to me, right? She doesn't have any of the circumstances that I have. Everybody has different circumstances. And I know there's people here in this chat that do good with their money, right? They do good things for people with their money. And I always said, if I was ever rich and I ever hit the lottery, I'd probably be in the Guinness Book of World Records for going broke the fastest for giving to other people, because I just don't believe that people should. I believe that people should give each other a hand up, not a handout. And because my grandmother used to say, like, people used to knock it and be like, it's a handout. No, it's a hand up. Okay. Not everybody has the same circumstances as everyone else. Like, I'm determined, as I am every year, to try to figure this birthday scenario with me going out with my friends and hopefully doing this. I'm determined to figure this out. Do I know in the back of my head it probably will not come to fruition if I can't save the correct amount to do it? Yes, I do. I realize that happens every year, but I still every year have the determination to want to do it because I'm going to try no matter what. Like, I'm going to try until it kills me. I'm try until it's over, right? Like, I have 3 kids' birthdays and Christmas and my birthday all in one area, which is why mine always gets skipped, because it's in 1 month span. The kids' birthdays are all in a 3-week span between the end of November and the 10th of December, and then there's Christmas right after. So, I really understand that that's usually why it doesn't happen for my birthday, because I forego mine because I don't have the money and I have to do the kids, right? But at the same time, I'm going to try, right? Like, I'm going to try. I have, what's today? The 4th. So I have like 2.5 weeks-ish, 2.5 weeks-ish to save the money to be able to book the bus. You know what I mean? If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. It is what it is. That's what I would like to happen. We don't get what we like all the time. You know what I mean? That's just life, right? But nonetheless, I'm not going to stop, to me, it's like, listen, money can buy happiness in certain ways, and others it can't. Right? Money can buy things and experiences, which in my opinion, I'd rather give my kids experiences and myself experiences than things, right? Because those are memories. Those are memories you're going to have forever. And I appreciate the memories that I have with my grandparents. They created a lot of experiences for us. They gave us things obviously too, but experiences were like their thing. And I was sort of raised at like, those are the memories they're going to take with them and pass on to their kids. And that's kind of what I want that's what I want to do. You know what I mean? And I haven't celebrated my birthday. And I was thinking about this the other day, and I always say a couple of years, but then I'm thinking back and I'm like, well, 2023 was a bust. 2024, my birthday was on Thanksgiving. And then I go back and I'm like, wait, 2022, 2021, and 2020, I didn't celebrate because we were dealing with after pandemic and during pandemic. So I didn't do any of those years. 2019, we had our fire. So we're in the beginning of 2020, but it was like that going into that winter. I remember my husband got me the DNA kit in 2019. So we didn't celebrate that year. So it must have been 2018, I think. So it's been more than a few even. Like all the birthdays are so close together that it's hard for me to be able to get that one night to go out and just woosah. And I don't go out often. Anybody who knows me knows I do my one vacation in the summertime and maybe one other night somewhere besides a birthday or like a wedding, which might or might not happen for someone else, you know? Such whiskey bottle. Sound of people chasing money and money, no way, right? I mean, that's money can buy things and it can buy experiences, but what it can't buy you is love. It can't buy you love. It can't buy you people to share it with, right? And what's the point of having things or experiences if you don't have people to share that with? You know what I mean? Like I'm rich in love for my, and I don't have a lot of a live family, but what I have is my direct immediate family and what I call my chosen family, which is all of you, right? And a ton of you know me in person, have gotten to know me on a personal level. Like that's my chosen family, right? And money can't buy that. It cannot buy that. Now what's going to happen is because you put that there, I'm going to have to go listen to it because you know how I am, right? Like I wrote it all down and now I'm going to have to actually listen to said song. You know, it sucks that I can't play them here because they give you a strike. But I certainly can listen to it after, that's for sure. But now I wrote it down, so I'm going to have to listen to it now. I hate that they don't let us play music without giving us a strike, but it is what it is. Unless I own the rights to it, which is hard to do. But that's the one thing. All you need is love, love, love. I'm just saying, like, there are certain things that money can't buy, and maybe some of these people with a lot of this money don't have some of that, right? They don't have people to share it with. They don't have, you know, that kind of richness in their lives where they can. A lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. See, the problem is I can never get all the people I want in one place to be able to throw in for it. You know, in one, like right around Christmas time, and my birthday happens to be Black Friday. It's the end of, November. So it's hard to get people to be able to spend $50 to $70 each to throw in and get all the money up front. And like, I've tried this before, and usually it's like a thing where people are like, well, I could afford 40, but I can't afford 70, or if I could afford 20, but I can't afford 40, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work. Right. And I really just want to have everybody that I care about and that I love in one space and be able to have them there. And so I think the only way that's going to happen is if I just pay for the fucking thing. Right. And have people just show up and go. And all I want is a night with the people that I care about to just laugh, have fun and dance, listen to music. And the buses are expensive. They're like $800, $850, depending on where you're going. And, you know, they do like by hour, but then there's a minimum, and it's a whole shit show. You know what I mean? It's a whole shit show. They're expensive. That's for sure. I was going to use a little bit of my YouTube money to pay for it, like my monthly YouTube check to pay for it, but that check does not come in until the 21st. And it's not a very big check. So I'm like, I could have at least, I think, almost a half of it covered with that check, that full check. But again, that would be like 1 week before. So it'd be hard to book a bus 1 week before you're doing it, because a lot of the times that's a big drinking night. Unfortunately, my birthday falls on that night. And I was like, well, maybe we could do the night after that. But then I thought about that too. And I was like, everywhere is going to be empty because everybody was there the night before. So it's like the circumstances of my birthday being on Thanksgiving every like 4 years or so make it difficult for me. It's just, it makes it difficult Do you own a party bus? I know you don't, but if you owned a party bus, this would be perfect. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Bus is expensive, goddammit. But it's an experience, one that I've actually never been. I've never actually had a bus. So there's that. Never done a bus, never had a bus. That's why it's one of those things like on my bucket list that I wanted to do for my birthday for a really long time, and I never get people to get together to do it. You know what I mean? That's gross. That's a terrible statement. I mean, who the hell would be proud for their child to grow up to be like TV? That's crazy bananas to me. Discord is like a place, it's like if you remember like AOL chat rooms, it's kind of like that, except the Twisted Tragedies family of all of you are there. And so we have a Discord where people can talk about all sorts of different things. We have places for animal pictures and recipes and other cases and online stuff, all sorts of stuff. Discord is fun because if you're awake in the middle of the night, there's always someone there. Always, because there's people from all over the world, so you're in different time zones, and there's always someone there. Oh, wait, did the donation not pin? Did it not? I didn't even do that yet. See, my brain is fried today. With all the stuff that happens all day long, swear to God, sometimes I'm like, meh. Let's see here. Let's see. My brain today. All right, now let's see if it pins. It didn't pin before. Thought I did pin it already, but that would be my bad if I did. Okay, now it's pinned. All right, see, I thought I had pinned it in the beginning of the show, but I didn't. So, there it is. Perfect. Wonderful. All right. So before we get into the shit show of, I guess, everything, right, that happened between last night, we do have a Discord link. Jesse has it. So if you'd like to donate to the channel and our independent sort of show here, we don't have, corporate sponsors. We don't have other creators sponsoring us. There's no, people telling us what we can and can't say, thank God. Because that would relate to what you keep seeing in some of the other content creators is they can't say certain things. They can't do certain things. Some of the truth they're not allowed to say because then, they had a mob of maniacs that would attack them. So we don't have any of that. There's nobody controlling what I can and can't say, thank fucking God, because if they were, we would have a very large problem. But since we don't have that, we are just us. We are independent. We are independent of all of that nonsensical crap. And so in order to help us continue to bring you all the tea, all the stuff that we can bring you, we have some trials that are coming up soon, thank God. But there's one of a bunch of different ways that you could help support the channel. And I put something else out on X yesterday, asking people, even on X, like, if you have it in you to help support the channel, we would very much appreciate it because we are a small channel. We don't get a ton of donations like the larger channels. We don't get constant donations like the larger channels. And in order to keep us floating, we have to garner that kind of support. So if you would like to, there are free ways to do it. You can hit the like button, the subscribe button. You can share the video. You can even just press share. You don't even have to share. It actually helps the algorithm, apparently. Those ones help. And then there are monetary ways to donate, like CashApp, PayPal, Venmo, Revolut. We have Chime. There's a link in the chat and in the description of the video where you click on it and you can use your credit or debit account. You can put any amount in you want. You can remain anonymous on any of these. We do have an Amazon wish list. We had to make it private because the turtle people were fucking with my wish list. So if you need it, you can ask me or one of my mods and we will happily give it to you. Definitely sign up for Discord, Christy. But those are the main ways you can do it. Then we have, I don't have the QR code up, you're right. We have a bunch of, obviously the super chats and super stickers. You can get yourself a membership. You can actually purchase memberships for other people, which I love when that happens because it's so awesome. It always skips Jesse, and I'm always like, God, hold my hands like this, like that, because we have no control over who gets it and who doesn't. That's like a YouTube thing. YouTube does it based on their own like algorithm or whatever, which is weird, but I do nonetheless. Oh, I love you. Appreciate you. Yes, it does. When you hit the share button, I am told it helps even if you don't actually share it, which is interesting. It's interesting. Jessie said she dropped the link. Let me see. I don't want to miss any of these comments. Hello. Can't Buy Me Love, the Beatles. That's right, Donald. That's right. It's on JFK stream last night. Nan said she was, yeah, I addressed that one. That's crazy to me. So crazy. Yeah, absolutely don't get it twisted. No pun intended, my friends. I showed you guys, for you guys that were here, that the new merch came in, my Twisted Tragedies hoodie, which is in my merch store now. This is my favorite. I'm not going to lie. It's so comfortable. I got it in a size large because I'm normally a size large, and it still has a little bit of extra room because they're like unisex. But it says Twisted Tragedies. It has our logo on it. This is the one that Jessie wanted me to make because she wants one so bad. I don't blame her. I actually want to make one that says Mod on the shoulder for her specifically. And then we have the Justice for the Silenced with the heart. And then in the back it says Twisted Tragedies podcast. And then we have our cups that say Sipping on Turtle Tears. Yeah, we do. We have these. These also come in water bottles as well, white water bottles. Yeah, fair use. But first you get dinged, then you have to fight. And even then, most of the time, and I've tried this, most of the time you will lose. You will lose, and they will say, nope, it's not fair use. Sorry, not sorry. The money, any money you made on your channel will go to like the person who owns the license to the music. So it's like something most people avoid because otherwise you're fighting a losing battle, you know? There's 92 of you, there's 193 of you total right now, which is less than normal, a lot less than normal, but because we didn't do our stream until late today. Today's like voting day, professional day, so my child does not have school, hence why we're late. But there's over 100 people watching on X too. Okay, you guys saying hi to each other, which I love. Love it, I love it, I love it. I don't want to miss these comments. It could be that she's a self-entitled asshole or a personality disorder or both, or she's just pandering to these people because she's looking for some sense of attention. I hear she's dealing with a divorce, which I guess can make people go a little loopy, you know. The injustice drives me insane, Tanya. It's one of the things that really, you know, and I'm only one person, right? I'm only one person and I can only do so much. I feel like there's just not that many hours in the day. And I try to do as much as I possibly can to help as many people that come to me with these issues as I can. But again, I'm only one human. So I feel like there's just not enough hours in the day to be able to get done everything I want to get done or everything that I need to get done to help everyone and run the show and do mom and do what, like so many different things, you know? I don't know. Like the things he said about James were awful, awful, absolutely awful, disgusting. You know, it's gross. It's just gross. And definitely everyone needs a break now and again. It's called a mental health break, my friends. Believe me, even sometimes I need to take them. So if I need to have the show be later or I need to take a day off, I just do. Even if I really can't afford it, because I really can't, I do anyway, because it's everyone needs that moment of time out because it becomes too much at some point, you know? Do KFJ know that once Karen is over them, they will also be discarded? They're the special ones now, but it will end. Well, apparently they're not thinking clearly at this point in dealing with that whole scenario, because, I mean, I do think it was just a bad idea to, you know, have Nan up there like that, especially right after what she did, because even a lot of their viewers are very put off by what she did. And I don't think that they're reading the room with that. You know, I don't think that they're exactly reading their audience in that capacity. They might be reading the ones that are, you know, in chat that are loud, but it's the same few people. What? Bomb threat at Reagan Airport and polling places? Oh, for the love of God. They're probably hoaxes, but there's been so many in recent days. Ugh. Yeah, she's definitely looked. We've tried that. We were like, well, maybe you don't get your thing isn't on, but no, yeah, we've tried that. She's had them before from other channels, so it was weird. Kelsey Fitzsimmons, Superior Court, has agreed to hear her new filing ASAP. Well, I mean, they have to agree to hear it. I don't necessarily know if that's going to be good news or not. I think they can hear it, but the filing, but the problem is the judge acted within her boundaries of the law. So if it's an appeal that they're seeking, I don't think that that's going to happen, you know? Yeah, but if I'm playing it on the screen, that kind of puts that out of the box. you know. No. Kelsey Fitzsimmons was another woman who was a cop in Andover and was served a restraining order and was shot by the Andover cops. She had pulled her weapon out, maybe to harm herself, she claimed. But again, we weren't there. The other officer was. It put that officer in a really shitty spot, and nobody is saying that she shouldn't, have consequences for that. I think the problem that people have are her ex was currently trying to put a lien on her house that she is selling for, because he's trying to get full custody, which he still doesn't permanently have yet, of her newborn. And then he wanted funds from her house to be held for child support going forward, which I have never heard of in my entire life of them doing that when someone still hasn't even been awarded full custody yet. And never mind the fact that a sale of a house is not income, it's not earned income. Child support there is very strict guidelines on what you can calculate for child support, and that's not earned income. You know what I mean? I don't listen to the turtle cults either. Well, we have to tell the whole story. She pulled a weapon. That's why they shot her. But, I'm not what the problem is the whole taking her kid from her. If she has postpartum, that's not the smartest thing in the world. Okay. I worked in mental health for a long time, but the court has to balance this whole what's safe and what isn't thing, which I understand, but I do think they go a little overboard in some instances. And some of the things that her fiance says are a little suspicious in my opinion. But again, that's my opinion, that's my opinion. Okay. So the thing that kind of struck me, right, is that Jess Machado had this studio, right, that she does her shows from, this studio. And in this studio of hers, there's Mr. Bones. That's what we're going to call him. This guy, it might be on that side of the screen for you guys, but this little skeleton guy, he's Mr. Bones there, that guy. But nonetheless, she got her studio because Nan paid for it. Okay? The studio that Jess does her shows in is a large donation that Nan Gallagher made. Do it! Girl, do it. What do you mean? You're one of the funniest people I know. Oh, I saw that one. Yes. So Nan made the big donation to Jess and helped her pay for that studio. Okay. So that studio that she does her shows out of, which to me is a little weird, right? Why do you need most people start in another room in their home, in the corner of a living room, and they set I am using another room in my home. I use half of it as my studio, and the other half is used as a playroom for my two older ones aren't necessarily done. They don't need a playroom. They're not going to play. You know what I mean? But my little uses the rest of the room over there as a playroom. She'll play with her Barbies or a game or whatever. Sit on the floor and she'll play, right? She could also play in her room, right? So most of the time it's just an office for me. But if I didn't have another room, I would use the corner of my living room. That is what I would. In order to rent a space in the state of Massachusetts, even a place that you need to drive to, a place, it's $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month to pay rent for a storefront or a quote studio space, right? I guess you could get a deal on it where it's $1,500 or $1,600, but even that is a lot of money per month to pay when you could just start in your basement, in your attic, in another room in your home. So she gets her studio fee from her sponsor, the printing company who has their company there. Well, nonetheless, she told the world that Nan Gallagher paid for her to get her studio, right? That there was a generous donation that Nan made. She didn't say how much, to get her studio up and going. That's interesting for somebody who's just starting. And let's just be clear here. This is not something Jess Machado hasn't tried before. She's tried YouTube before. She's tried it. When you don't need it, right? When you don't need it, you own a home. What do you need it for? I'd make my basement or my attic or you know, it's weird to me to have a whole studio for no reason, but cool, whatever, you want to do what you want. But she has all these, you know, sponsors. This place sponsors her, that place sponsors her, blah, 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 whatever. It's weird to have a bunch of sponsors like that too right away. But at the same time, her and Nan are sort of throwing jabs at each other. Nan's the one that paid for that studio. So what does that tell you? Like, not everything is great in paradise, you know? Not everything is great in paradise. I also think Ashley should take a chance. I think she should go for it. I think you should go for it. Just said a friend owns it but doesn't use it and gave just a really good deal on the space. It's still going to cost per month, right? Still going to cost per month. That takes away from any, you know, money that you make per month. So, I mean, you're asking for a loss right away to even start that. You know what I mean? But weird. She said her friend needed someone to rent it. I still think it would still cost a pretty penny, even if they gave you a wicked good deal and it was $800 a month. That's still $800 a month plus, you know, lights and whatever, internet, whatever. You know what I mean? You're so silly. But I get it. But at the same time, so now they're taking jabs at each other, right? They're taking jabs at each other. Last night, hello, disclaimer, on JFK's show, I guess. They took a section of their business and made it for her. That's weird. That's strange. That's weird. Nonetheless, her and Nan made that. Well, she, you know, you have to remember, she made the statement that, you know, the generous donation was made by Nan to her, right? For the studio, right? You have to remember that. That was a thing that she publicly proclaimed. And then you see that those two are sort of hitting back at one another, right? Hitting back at one another on this thing where on JFK. So I'm like, that's weird. What does that tell you, though? That tells you clearly not everything is great in paradise over there, okay? Yeah, I mean, she knew that's why she had Kate on, right? Was for the views, which is like cool and all, but you realize that, like, if you do that and you pump your views for your first show, that's what your numbers are going to be based on, which is not smart at all. You have analytics, right? And your analytics are going to tell you whether month by month you go up or down. And if you pump them up for the first one, your analytics are going to start being set on those. It's not a smart thing to do, right? You want to build it. You really just want to build it correctly instead of inflating it like that. You know what I mean? Zoom right past it, my friend. You know, you do make people laugh, and I think you would enjoy doing it. Hello. Listen, no, was it the one where he was saying about Halloween? Is that the one you meant? Because I addressed that one yesterday, and I'm also told that I'm the only one that even addressed that comment, which made my mind blow. That's weird to me. But if that's the one you're talking about, wait, she what? I didn't know that. I didn't know that she paid her to do it. That's crazy to me. Wow. Well, you know, it is what it is. Here's the thing for me, right? The thing for me is all these people are taking pot shots at each other for what? Yeah, that made me sick. I was probably the only one I heard that said anything about it, and that made me even sadder, you know? That I was the only person to address that, because that's not okay, you know? Yeah, that's weird to me. That's really strange. Who says that? That's a really awful comment to make. And the problem that I have with that is Mr. Willie Henry has his own dirt, right? He has his own dirt. Why you would say something so completely and utterly disgusting means that you're just competing to be more disgusting than your Bud TV, which is just gross at this point, right? It is the lowest of the low. You couldn't go any fucking lower at all. I mean, I think he lost his mind a long time ago. But I also heard, and I don't know because I didn't watch this, but this is what I have been told this morning, was that he took time last night to poo-poo Karen Reed, saying she's, selfish and crazy and an asshole. And I'm like, well, that's interesting. Why doesn't he? People should start asking him why he's just saying this now. He knew her through 2 trials. Why are you just saying it now? People should be questioning why he's saying that now and why it took him 2 trials to say it. What were you hiding for the 2 trials? Were you lying through the 2 trials? Because you didn't just realize that after 2 trials, right? So are you just lying about it now because you wanted the money and you wanted the clicks and you wanted the views and wanted to grow and you wanted to do all these things, and now you're mad that you sort of got caught lying, you put yourself in a shitty position, and well, now you got to trash her because, you know, the main boy there is telling you what you got to do and what you can't do, or he's going to send his minions after you. You know, I know how this works. I've watched it happen over and over and over and over again. Okay, so that did happen. Okay. All right. Well, that's exactly what he's trying to be. But he's been trying to be that for a while, you know? He's been trying to do it for quite some time. Oh, I'm sure he did. But he also got a big chunk of that money. A big chunk of that money. He probably made more than he raised. Let's be clear here. All right? He made more than he raised. If it was only 60 grand that he raised, you can bet your ass he made more than he raised for her. I don't watch him, so I won't give him the view the same way I won't give the turtle the view, but other people do watch it for me. And for me, it's like, well, why is he just saying it now? I know that was probably my favorite part of that, which is if Aiden's the turtle, Will is the parrot. That was pretty funny. But I mean, you know, I can't either, girl. I'm with you on that. I can't do it. It's not something I can do. I literally can't do it. All right. I can't. I can't. All right. I can't. I literally can't. I feel like today's episode, Twisted Tragedy, is sponsored by fucking irony with these people, you know? Like literally. The irony. It's just apparently it's contagious in online circles. Apparently, because they don't understand the lack of self-awareness here is fucking insane. That's another thing. These 12-hour streams, they're meant not just for the creator, like the person they're raising money for. It's also for the creator, let's be honest. I mean, I don't know why they're not honest about it. If you're going to do a 12-hour stream to raise money, you're also raising money for yourself because you're not going to do 12 hours without getting paid. I mean, that's crazy. You know what I mean? But guilty pleasure. Hey, you know, if I didn't have people like you that watched it, I wouldn't be as informed, to be fair, you know? Well, that's exactly it. He's not cashing in on the case anymore. Those numbers are dropping now, right? So he says it now, right? He says, oh, she's terrible, she's awful, she's mean, she's, you know, like, well, why now? Why now? Why do you say it now? You know? Why do we say it now? Will? You know? I'm CIA undercover. I love it, Carol. But that, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's saying it now because the numbers have dropped. He's not making that kind of money anymore. And if he wants to keep the money that he is making rolling in, then he needs Turtle's viewers to keep coming there and donating. And he can lie all he wants about it, but I've seen the difference between those people donating and just building it yourself without that sort of extra inflation. And had I continued to just be on that side, even after I was like, wait a second, hold on, there's some red flags here, I need to go back, then I would have made a ton of money too. But in my conscious mind, I can't look at things and say this isn't, and then tell people that it is. That's not how I operate. I don't have the capacity to fucking do that. I just don't. I do not. And so I didn't. But I saw the difference. I knew what the difference would be, right? Everyone's cognizant of it. You know what I mean? You don't not know. So he knows damn well that if he doesn't stay on the turtle's good side, he's going to be on the bad side, which means all the attacks, all the number drops, even more money drops. And he can't have that now, can he? Right? Cannot have that. So now he's got to do what the turtle wants him to do, because the turtle can't do it himself without without losing more. So he needs other people to do it for him. It's the same thing he's done over and over and over and over and over. I mean, he basically alluded to telling people on his little spaces the other night with Lily that he talks shit about Karen privately, but he's not going to do it publicly, even though he does it publicly just in a roundabout way where he acts like, well, that's not what I meant to everyone else. It's like, do you think everyone's stupid? No one here is dumb. You know what I mean? No one's dumb. No one's dumb. No one. You know, I feel like he's one of TV's hype men. Like that's it. Over on social media, we have our favorite, TV's favorite hype man, the Glyer. The kind of people who like clap for fucking bad behavior like a seal, like it's a damn fucking Patriots halftime show at the Super Bowl, They say like loyalty is noble, but when you're loyal to nonsensical bullshit, it's just community service for fucking stupidity at that point. Hold on, guys. Oh, school days off. It's just the bane of my existence right now. I'm telling you. Thank God my husband's home today and switched a shift with someone. I mean, that's what we're dealing with. Ultimately, that is what we're dealing with. Little one-hit wonders with taking advantage of Karen's prosecution. They don't have content of drama. It is. It's sad because they couldn't even move on, just like TV can't move on to other trials. You can't read the legal documents, and I've done a couple trials since Karen's ended already, acting a fool, no, apparently he's not adopted anymore. What pisses me off about him is exactly what Wallflower's talking about right now. SD did a lot for him. That's for me. He wants to save to come here in December for what? We don't want you here, bro. Please do not come here. We don't accept you. We don't want you. Massachusetts is not a fan of yours. Goodbye, sir. Stay in fucking Tennessee. Stay there. We don't want you. Okay? We do not. Why doesn't Nan support Claire? I don't know. Doesn't she? Or was there words between them too? I have no idea. Right? Like staring at the thing and acting like you don't know that what you're doing with the camera right in front of you, and then Will standing behind him. In my opinion, all three of them should have been charged. All three of them. You know what I mean? Oh, it will absolutely be a rant about all of us, about everyone. All of us. Of course, he's not going to say shit about Nan because, well, she's a big donor of his. She drops like $500 cash apps and stuff on his show. So he's not going to say anything to her. You know what I mean? Why would he? And I think, again, that goes to ethics and like where your personal line is. Like people can be, big donors. I've had big donations. I mean, they're few and far between. I've had them, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to say on my show what is right or what is wrong because of that. You know what I mean? Like that's, I think, where the lines should be drawn. Like someone can be a big donor, but you don't have to adopt everything they think or say. And you don't have to say like, that's not okay. What Nan did was not okay. I don't give a shit how much money she drops. That's crazy. You are an attorney. You have obligations as an attorney. And you not only helped him harass someone who isn't a creator, all right, but you did it. And then you happily said on Twitter that you would be happy to do it again. She proclaimed that she didn't care that she did it, and she was happy to do so. What? You know what I'm saying? What? Tuberculosis. That is catchy. I'm not going to lie. Calling Aiden tuberculosis is a little catchy. The sewer turtle, I feel like it's catchier, because the reason he's a sewer turtle is because he, slimes around in the sewers with the shit. He spews shit, and he's just one big pile of shit. Like a piece of shit. So that's why he's the sewer turtle. But tuberculosis is a pretty good one. I'm not going to lie, they're not going to do that. The turtle doesn't know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? Explains in detail why he's not friends with Nan on last night's show. He trashed her. Why? Is there a reason? Like a fake reason? Can we hear the fake? What's the fake reason, Carol? I'm gonna bet because she donated a ton of money to him at some point, right? And then she probably didn't do what he wanted. Like, listen, my biggest problem with him is realistically, that thing that he said about James the other day was horrible. And I'm not friends with James. I don't even know James, but that's a terrible thing to say about anyone. I did hear that one. Absolutely fucking terrible. Okay. She knew what she was doing. You know, my biggest problem with him is he took advantage of Essie's kindness. Okay. He did. He took advantage of her fucking kindness, and that shit pissed me off. Like, she was just trying to be a good person. You know what I mean? A good person, a good friend. And the second that turtle cult told you to turn your back on her, you did. You did. Like the coward that you fucking are. Like, why do I have to call out full-grown men? This is just sad. You know what I'm saying? Why? You know? I shouldn't have to call out full-grown ass men. You know? And let's just remind you that these full-grown ass men, they never pick on other men. My husband made that point this morning when I was on the phone with Jesse. They don't pick on other men. They pick on women. Which is fine. You want to play with me? That's cool. You're going to burn yourself when you come into my kitchen, but I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's short name because he knows he'll donate. Well, maybe, but I feel like he's not really worth much. So to be honest, I feel like the turtle's the only one she really needs to at that point, you know? Right, like stay in Tennessee. We don't need you here, liar. As a matter of fact, I don't even think Tennessee wants you. I have friends in Tennessee, and they say no. The Turtle Springer Show. It kind of is, though. You know? It kind of is, you know? Yes, they have very much crushed the limits that I allow. And I do have a limit, and I do accept everyone. I give everyone a chance, but once you crush that limit, that's a done deal for me, because I learned a long time ago that, you know, there are just some people that have bad intentions, you know, just bad. I think he will, right, Tanya? I think he will. I think give it time. Give it time. If he loses more subs again on anything else that has to do with her, I guarantee you he'll lose it. You know? Nan tried to latch on to Lara with large donations. He told her to stop. It was last night. He says she created him. Oh, for the love of God. Today's, you know, this last week has been an anxiety week for me. I'm not going to lie. It's been a bad week. Nan gave $4,000 to Larry. He said last night. Well, why not say thank you? You don't want to say thank you? Like, that's his problem, right? Is not being grateful of what he gets. And it's like, maybe it's because they get so much that they just think it's nothing at this point. And to me, it's like, do you forget where you came from? Because to me, I will never forget where I came from, ever. I will never forget how grateful I am when something shows up at my door, like Wallflower getting me this. Like, I will never forget the little things that people do, like the desk that Ray bought me. Like, I will never forget the things that people do for me, because I'm not able to do, like, I can't just go out and buy myself something that I need like this. I can't afford to do it. I can barely make sure that I'm, you know, budgeting enough, you know, money to make sure that the food is stocked in the house, you know. But I do, because, hello, you got to eat, right? But it's, you got to make sacrifices on certain things, you know, and you got to do what you got to do. But I never forget that people are showing their love and kindness to me, and without them, it would be a lot harder for me. It seems to me as if these people seem to forget that, right? And I'm also somebody that likes to share that with other people. You know what I mean? Like, I like to share. Like, if someone said to me, like, hey, I need a place to do work, you know, I don't have, my kids are running around crazy and I have no space in my house to like shut the door and go, I'd be like, all right, I'll go to your house. You can use my office. You know what I mean? Like, I have a desk they can sit at. They can use, like, I even have a laptop. It's old, but it still works. You know, like, I mean, the thing is ancient, but it still works. And so if they need that space, like, I'm happy to help, because I have it to help with. You know what I'm saying? Like, I might not have much, but what I do have, I don't mind sharing, because it's the right fucking thing to do. I feel like some of these people completely lose the fact that you didn't all come from, and don't get me wrong, a lot of people who start YouTube channels come from money, because it costs a lot of money to start a channel and to maintain a channel. But at the same time, these people that start to just make. And I've seen plenty of people who are humble enough to know where they came from and not treat people this way. But I'm specifically mean like the sewer cult. It seems to me that the people in the sewer cult are so caught up in what they can't say because of the sewer turtle, right? And who they have to poo-poo away because he said so, that they forget why they started their channel or their independent voice to begin with, right? Because, oh, she's a barnacle. I mean, it is. The man is not a good person. Let's just throw that out there. Just like the sewer turtle isn't a good person, he's not. I think a lot of people, right? I know y'all in Tennessee don't want him either. You know what I'm saying? You guys are better than that too. You don't want him. Like, just take him somewhere else. The island of shitbags, you know? You can say that again. I've never met more full-grown men at that point. I mean, creator-wise, that are way more filled with drama than women, you know? That's just crazy to me. That's just bananas to me. Disclaimer's right. That's the problem. And I recognized immediately what they did to Esty because it's sort of the same thing they did to me. It's very along the lines, which is all she had to do was all they had to do was just be jealous of something of hers. That was all it took, and for me, it was information that I wasn't willing to lie about. And so if you don't lie for them, you don't do shady things for them, if you don't keep their secrets, if you see something that happens and you're like, no, I don't agree with that, you're going to be under the firing squad for that, And with her, all it took is them being jealous of her relationships or what she could help with or the closeness of her to other people. And it was an immediate, I'm going to throw a fit, as the sewer turtle does, and I'm going to make up a reason to say she's bad. And that reason was the fake stealing of the seat that never happened. And then throw it out there and send the minions upon her. And there was no reason for that. And it pisses me off to no end. Someone the other day said something like, oh, he said something about Esty. I said, let any one of those motherfuckers come for her again, dude. You're going to have to go through me times 100. That shit's not okay. You got to leave these people the fuck alone. Okay? They have nothing to do with anything. You're a petty little asshole. And your problem is that you can't voice that you're freaking out on someone because you're being a jealous weirdo. Because then your followers would be like, well, that's kind of fucking weird, bro. Like, we don't support like that kind of jealous weirdo behavior. So instead, they have to come up with an actual reason on why that person is bad, right? And then to make it look good, they got to come up with 5 more reasons. And then they got to harp on it and harp on it and harp on it and harp on it so that all the followers believe everything they say. And then all followers will make that person's life miserable until that person goes away and that person doesn't say anything about them anymore. And then, then they're in the clear because they think at that point, if they've trashed someone enough, and again, I've seen the personal messages where fucking Aiden admits to this, that if he trashes someone enough, that the followers of his will not listen to that person anymore because he'll just tell them that it's because he exposed them. And so at that point, his followers tune out anything that person has to say, whether true or not, because in his words, you're just mad that the turtle exposed you. He doesn't expose anything. He tries to use people's trauma. He tries to twist things. He makes mountains out of molehills. It's what he does. It's what he does. I don't blame you for that, Kate. I don't blame you. I think money, with these people has a big thing to do with it. And yes, again, money is great. We all need it. We need it to live. It's part of the world going round. You know what I mean? I honestly think, I'm not even gonna lie, there's definitely something that got in my eye, whether it was my makeup or something. I don't know, but it's it hurts right here. And then my contact in this eye is blurry, and I put in solution this morning. Give me 1 second. I'm going to get my contact solution just to be safe. Sorry, I needed to get this because it's really bugging my eye. See if that helps a little bit. Keep the towel just to wipe the tears when they come down, or the artificial contact solution. It's a little better on that one. Sometimes when I go back to wearing my glasses, it's probably like a little bit of makeup got in my eye while I was washing my face, but like the sparkles of some eyeshadows will get into the, and I can see sparkles coming off my hand, so it has to be what it is. They start to irritate. But I love sparkly eyeshadow. Gosh dang it. Gosh darn it. Gosh darn it. But I don't blame you. That's your choice to make. And I think you're not the only person. You two are not the only people I actually heard from privately. I heard from probably at least a dozen people that said the same thing, where they were really disappointed in him having it on and not saying anything. And then her just, throwing around the money the way she did. It was more about the money to them than it was the purpose of what she did. Now, I don't think anybody would have had a problem of like, if she came on and wanted to donate or do whatever, if he had addressed it and been like, listen, like, we don't condone that kind of behavior and we don't think it's okay. Now, after that, if she came on and did that, then people would be like, well, it is what it is. He addressed it and said it wasn't okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, TV wasn't the one given the info on Opposite Good. He tried to say at first, it's a rumor. Why? Yeah, that's what he does. When I broke the story that Natalie got immunity, I had all the information on that. I had the receipts that I couldn't put out there simply because it would show who gave it to me, right? But nonetheless, I had that story. I broke that story, okay? And he went and told his entire audience that it wasn't true. What would she have immunity for? It wasn't true. That was false. No, it was completely and utterly true, obviously. And then much later on, do you think he went back and corrected that statement? No, I broke that story. I did on my channel. And I said it months before any of those people confirmed it. And it was simply because he didn't say it. So he'll call it a rumor or a lie simply because he didn't get the information first, which is crazy to me because I sat on that information for a while. I didn't just, a lot of people jump the gun and they want to be the first to say it, so they just do. And it's like, that's not the correct way to do it. You got to get more information, and you know what I mean? Like, and I sat on it for a while. There were even some things when I broke that story that I still couldn't say, but of course it's because he didn't break it. Plymouth? Wait, what? Hold on a second. No, I did not. Let's see. Okay. 2 Massachusetts men arrested after explosion at Harvard Medical School, the FBI says. Two Massachusetts men were arrested Tuesday in connection with a weekend explosion at Harvard Medical School, authorities said. Logan David Patterson and Dominic Frank Cardoza face charges of conspiracy to damage by means of fire or explosive. According to the charging document, Patterson is an 18-year-old from Plymouth and Cardoza, a 20-year-old from Bourne, were arrested Tuesday morning and were due to be arraigned in federal court later in the day. The explosion occurred early Saturday on the 4th floor of Harvard Medical School's Goldenson building. No one was injured. The building houses labs and offices associated with the school's neurobiology. Interesting. Anxiety levels naturally rise when the public learns an explosion was intentionally caused. Witnesses stated the 2 men were visiting Wentworth College for Halloween activities. Surveillance footage captured Patterson and Cardoza walking toward the Harvard Medical School. Witnesses said the pair chose the building because it looked abandoned. They also said the pair gained access to the building via the roof. The charging document states medical school officials said the explosion caused no structural damage and that all labs and equipment remained intact. The Boston Fire Department determined it was intentional. The explosion was intentional. They did not find additional devices during a sweep of the building. Interesting. That is crazy. Yeah, he doesn't know how to journalist. That's kind of, it's, at this point, we call it like Star Magazine. That's what it is. Not a journalist, It's Star Magazine type bullshit, It's literally what it is. Yeah, that's crazy. That is crazy. That was Saturday, so thankfully I don't think anybody was in the building. Thank God. It's a bunch of crap. Women are more emotional than men. I mean, I definitely can be emotional, but I've seen some men that are more emotional than women. It's a person-to-person thing. It's not a men or a woman thing. You know, that's getting empathy confused with emotions. Bingo. Men, higher self-harm rates, higher substance abuse rates, higher risk takers. I'm definitely a risk taker, so I probably fall in that category. Right? Some people are predators and people are prey. Will is a predator. And I don't disagree with you. Chad has already posted her stupid Bunny After Dark show for tomorrow night. I'm sure she'll go Psycho and JFK, James, Kevy, and Nan. I'll be going undercover. I'll fight back. I'll use a false court proceeding. He might. Thank you, Grave. Wishing Blair to Nebraska. He's like, away from us, please. Away from us. Away from all of us. Just away. 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 We'll drop them truth bombsies, my friends. I know I'm behind in the comments. I apologize, guys, but you guys know I like to try to hit everyone's comments and not leave them behind. That's just my thing. It's my thing. Very good to you, and we got a couple of these for you already, too, from Tanya. Very, very much. If you guys would like to contribute, there's a bunch of different ways to do so. The best ways are always the most direct routes, which are Venmo, CashApp, PayPal, Revolut. We have the link up there in the chat, and it's pinned to the top of the chat. It's also in the description of the video. I am starting my, saving for the birthday thing. I essentially probably started trying to do it for the 1st, November 1st, because I have probably, I guess, 2.5 weeks before I have to book it. So my YouTube check is for the month before, which is so weird. Don't ask me why. I don't get it. I feel like they need to change it to like getting paid every 2 weeks, or this whole once a month thing doesn't work for me. Not only does it not work for me, but you get it for the month before. So basically when I get paid on the 21st of November, it'll be for October. So anything I get now, though, on YouTube will actually help towards Christmas, because I'll get it on the 21st of December, which is just days before Christmas, but I'm a last minute Christmas shopper because I usually don't have all the money all at once. So that'll be like my last minute Christmas shopping money will be my YouTube check for November, which will be given to me in December. I hate how they do it a month behind. Like, why not just do every 2 weeks like a normal thing, God damn it. Like a normal thing. God dang it. Like, why not? But there's a million different ways that you can support the channel. You can also like, subscribe, you can share the video. That's always helpful. Being here is super helpful as well. Watching it, hitting the like button, those are all super helpful as well to the channel. Let's see. But we like to read them. You can remain anonymous, of course, in any of the ways that you choose to support the channel. Right? Anywhere but here. Anywhere but here. In there. Yeah, that's weird. I mean, I was once, I don't know if it was blocked or banned or timed out. I don't even know. But it was like more than a half an hour. And so finally I was like, F this. Caffeine is always good. I've pretty much finished it's basically like ice that's at the bottom of this. So they were arraigned in the federal court because the FBI was involved. So that probably was in Boston, I'm guessing. But one of the guys was from Plymouth and one of the guys was from Bourne. Young kids. They were speaking to Nan as though she had not delivered a victim in the hands of her perpetrator. Yeah, again, not something I can do, not someone I would have on my show, but I can't control what other people do, unfortunately. And I totally get why some of you were like, you know what, that's my last straw. I'm not dealing with it anymore. I can't support that. I don't blame you. I don't fucking blame you at all. No, you can be blocked as a member too. I can block anyone. And if so say for instance, someone bought memberships and somebody was subscribed and they got a membership, that doesn't stop me from blocking or banning them. They might have just got one because someone bought some and they had actually subscribed to the channel. But that doesn't stop it from stop you from being able to block someone, I mean, I think she was doing like these big donations in chat to like say pretty shitty. I didn't watch it, but as far as I understand, it was to say, like, throw digs at people. You know what I mean? Which is just not cool. Not freaking cool at all. Yeah, the What's Up Losers I heard about, but then she just left, right? There was nothing after that. You know, I can't blame you. I probably would have bounced too. I was asleep. I didn't see it, but it's sad, you know? It's sad. That voicemail shit, and then the shit she said after when I called out the behavior, I didn't attack her in the way she looks, where she lives, how much money she makes, or anything like that. I said, this is unethical. Shame on you for that, for the behavior. And then she had to go and be even more disgusting and even more vile. It's like, that, how do you think that's going to look? That's not defending yourself by, you know what? You're right. I probably made a mistake. Or even if you didn't want to agree with me and tell the world I was right, even though they now know I was, you could have just said nothing. You know? You could have just said nothing. That was a monster thing to do. I agree. And then the comments she made after to me were even worse. You know? That's okay, my friend. Your notifications are probably set to like most instead of all. It happens. Believe me. No. 2002 was way too early. I didn't start dancing until like 2006, 7, 6. Wait, no, that's wrong. 2004. End of 2000, so early 2005. So yeah, no. 2002, I wasn't even 18 yet. I started dancing when I was 18, and I didn't turn 18 until the winter of 2004. So that means I didn't start dancing until the winter of 2004. So a little early would be 2002 would be too early. You know, it's I just, you know, I thought maybe that was it, but now I can't even give that excuse for them because that's just not the case. They absolutely know. And so it's like, well, I gave them that benefit, you know, of the doubt for a while there. It is what it is. I feel you, my friend. My pain is 24/7, and the ibuprofens just don't touch it anymore, you know? The morning and nighttime, I'm super stiff and in a lot of pain. And because I overdid it last week, my body has been killing me ever since. But I also know my physical limits and I push them, you know? Probably Halloween and storage unit, I push my physical limits, you know? I think what really kills me about that is I used to be able to dance for 10, 12 hours at work and walk around in 8-inch heels without a problem. And now I can barely walk a couple miles or however long it was that we did for Halloween and walk up and down stairs more than a couple times. I mean, the physical pain is so bad that it made it 10 times worse afterwards. I was like, I feel like I was peeling myself out of a chair or bed when I got up the next day. It was bad, you know? I agree. I honestly think it's more about the money, but I think they should have said something, you know? Wine is always good. I could always have a good glass of wine or champagne. I like champagne. Not a lot of people like champagne. I like champagne. You know? Who, Nan? I think she thinks she's above a lot of things. That's very clear to me at this point, you know? At this point. I agree. I agree. You know? I was, you know, holding out hope that they didn't, but at this point, they absolutely know what's going on, so I can't even give that excuse anymore. Same here, my friend. I don't have the prescription pain meds. I take just regular ibuprofen, and but it doesn't do shit, you know. Well, I had multiple. When I first started dancing, it was destiny for a couple years. Then a friend of mine wanted to learn how to bartend at a strip club, which was more money because it's not a regular bar and they charge more and all that stuff. So then I gave that name over to her because she, well, it was a name that meant something to her. And so I switched at that point. And that is why my Cash App is Skye, because that was my dancing name. With an E, not just SKY, it was SKYE. And I'll never forget my 21st birthday, which was awesome. I was actually on stage, and all of a sudden I hear a song that was not a song I picked. And so I'm like, I hear, I think it was 50 Cent. Go shawty, it's your birthday. And I'm like, I know it's and I was working because my birthday was on a weekday, so it was a weekday. And it's like my birthday, and I'm like, what is happening? Like, I did not pick this song, right? And I look, and to get onto the stage was like a short little staircase. And I look over to the staircase, and here they come with this white and blue cake with these little champagne bottles that they found for, they were candles, but they were little champagne bottles. And here they come with the cake onto the stage, and I got to blow out my candles, and it was already midnight at that point. So they poured me 3 shots right there on the stage. Boom, 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 boop, boop, boop. And I did those shots. I had a great night. I went out the following weekend for my birthday. We went to Boston Rocks, which was in Faneuil Hall, with a bunch of my friends, and we had a freaking blast. That song was so played out, you have no idea, in the club. Like, so played out. So played out. So played out. They played that thing all the time. But nonetheless, I changed it for my friend who was the bartender so that she could adopt Destiny, and I changed it to Sky, and that's what it was ever since then. Oh, yeah, I didn't hear that, Spaces. Oh, that's my alarm. That's for the weekdays when my kid's getting off the bus. She even said she thinks she's... That's terrible. Like, what is... Clearly, James Jackson's not a woman, so just to say something like that is you're just being spiteful and mean to him for no reason. Yeah, it's tomorrow. He has court tomorrow. It's at like 1:50. I have not tried Kratom. I've heard of Kratom. I've heard of the things it can do, but I have not ever tried it for pain. I've tried CBD patches, which actually work well, but they're very expensive, so I couldn't afford to just keep buying them. It was like a 30-day supply. It was like $150, and they worked. They worked. They helped with the pain, but they're daily patches, right? So, and it was only CBD, which was perfect, but they were just too expensive to keep buying. But they did help. That's the thing. They did help. The patches. I mean, I tried the cream. That didn't really do anything, but those patches, they helped. I am a champagne person too. I don't know why. I like champagne, I like it. Freebie birthday gifts. Happy birthday. We just did birthdays the other day where I wrote down everybody's birthday. Did I not write yours down, or were you not here for that? Because I totally did. I did. Because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't forgetting anyone that was normally here, and I could look at this list in the morning and be like, okay, it's so-and-so's birthday today. We're going to remember this. And I don't have you, so you must not have been here that day. That's a good question, Barb. Yeah, 1:50 tomorrow. Yeah, don't worry about it, girl. We'll talk. We'll talk on the phone. Yeah, that's just a horrible thing, I don't blame you. I actually don't drink much. It's probably maybe 10 times an entire year. Usually it's like Thanksgiving with a glass of champagne, Christmas maybe, my birthday, if I get the chance to go out or do anything. My one vacation in the summertime, 4th of July. There's really not, like, I'm not like a social. I had a couple for Halloween because we had like a big block party basically. And we filled up the blood bags with the ones we had left, at least from the Halloween party we had. But that's like, we don't have many. I'm not one of those people that just grabs like a beer for no reason. Like, you know what I mean? Maybe it's possible. I mean, sometimes people use it as like a way, I have no doubt that she does watch. No doubt in my mind. Oh my God, you guys are so funny. You guys are so funny. James Jackson getting all the love. What? Did I answer it? Did I not answer it? I'm so confused. I did answer it, right? Calvin Klein underwear model. You guys are hilarious. Yeah, he went pro se for the second victim's one, I believe, and the judge told him he should consider counsel. But that might be it. Maybe Beto doesn't want to deal with the nonsense anymore after he's given it. I mean, I can't imagine any lawyer that hadn't given him the advice to shut the fuck up. I don't know. Don't you worry, my friend. We are a very, small community right now, but we are growing. But we might be small, but I feel like we're also mighty in a way. I feel like we are also mighty in a way, in a good way. What is happening here? Hold on a second, guys. I'm getting. Interesting. Hey, and if you're watching, those were terrible things he said. I totally left that. A lot of people actually did. September? Did I write you down, Christy? I thought I did. Did I not? September what? You don't have to tell us. I wrote down everybody's their month and their date, not their year. But I don't think I did. Right? I can just write down the year September, and then when September comes, we can just say happy birthday this month, my friend. Yeah, he's definitely charging a pretty penny. You know what I mean? I would agree that she would have to be some sort of insecure to be that awful. I feel like a lot of people have to be. Thank you. I think if you're that, you have to remember when people say really awful things about other people, especially when they're not, oh, it's the first. Interesting. Well, now we know, right? When it's not true, I think it says more about them than it does the person that they're trying to, disparage in some way, and said anyone that doesn't like her is envious. Who the fuck would be envious of that kind of anger and hate? I'm certainly not envious of her intelligence, because if you don't even know as an attorney that you have an ethical duty and that you don't help someone harass someone else they have an order on, then I would not hire you as an attorney. And that's what you're telling your clients, is nobody can trust you. And if you're a medical attorney, they need a lot of trust. And they need a lot of privacy, which you're clearly not willing to give. Sorry, not sorry, but if your intelligence is lacking that much, you don't even know what your duties are as a fucking attorney, or what's ethical and what isn't. Come on, man. That's utterly ridiculous. Who the fuck would be envious? You could have all the money in the world and still be a shitty fucking person. And this is something I've told multiple people. I've told you guys, and I've said to Essie, I'd rather be poor every day of my fucking life. Okay, every goddamn day of my life, like I am now, and be a terrible, awful human fucking being. I will take it. I will take it. I would rather be a decent human than be an awful person with all the money in the fucking world. I really, really would rather. It's ridiculous. That's utterly ridiculous. Needs to be a new bottle because it's so funny. Sip and paint. Yeah, I don't think Helby would love that. I do love paint nights, though. I've done one at my neighbor's house. We had a fun time on that paint night. Yeah, see, that's not cool. I mean, it doesn't look like she's okay. If you look at all of the things that she's saying and doing, it doesn't seem like someone who's okay. Again, I was told that she's dealing with a divorce, but that doesn't make it okay for her to say the things that she said about other people. Does she realize more than half the viewers probably on JFK's show either have had housing instability of some sort, or food stamps at some point? Like, you're ostracizing your own audience, or people who have struggled a day in their lives or ever needed help. I don't get, like, the lack of reading the room and the self-awareness, I think, is my problem with it all, which is maybe for people who have never struggled, it doesn't seem like a big fucking thing, but for the people who have, it is. It is. Struggle, and even people who have money, some people came from nothing. They came from struggle, so they remember what it's like, but it seems like that she just either doesn't remember what it's like or never cared. And if you're that, like, if that's how much you care about sort of being in the inner circle of the turtle, I mean, what is he going to give you? Every person he has ever come across, he burns in some way, shape, or form, whether it's with lies, with jealousy, it doesn't matter. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It's ridiculous. The comment that she made was on my own comment, like on my own Twitter. I don't know if she made comments last night about me, but it was on my Twitter. That she made some really deplorable, disgusting comments. And again, I didn't go after her looks or how much money she makes or anything like that. I just said, this is unethical and you should be ashamed of yourself if this is the way that you conduct business as an attorney. And then, of course, she doubled down on it not being unethical. She actually proclaimed to the world that it's totally fine if an attorney does that because that wasn't her client. They didn't have attorney-client privilege. She's a potential client. Rule 1.18 of Rules of Professional Conduct specifically state exactly what a potential client is and that they should get the confidentiality because they are potential clients. Again, Rule 1.18. But see, I already knew that. And I have a sneaking suspicion she did too. She just didn't want to say it publicly because that would mean I was right and she was wrong. And since she's an attorney, she can't be wrong, right? And that's half the problem, which is people just automatically believe her because she's an attorney. So who someone like me who's not an attorney, how could I be right? How could I possibly know more than an attorney or be right? Well, I had a whole argument with Betterow on Twitter about whether murder 2 in the state of Massachusetts required intent. It does not. He literally argued that it does with me on Twitter. Who was right and who was wrong? Oh, that's right. I was right and he was wrong because he argued with me without doing his homework. But here came the cultist saying, well, how would you think that you know better than Betterow? He's an attorney. He's an attorney in another state. He clearly did not know our laws. And murder 2 in Massachusetts does not require intent. Sorry, not sorry. I'm right. He's wrong. And if anybody did 10 seconds of research, they would have known that, but they didn't bother. They did not bother, my friends. They didn't think it was important to do any sort of research to know. Oh, bagels sound so good, though. I'm not going to lie. It sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. The 10-show bullshit with Karen. He didn't get it offered to him. Everything is drying up. What? Wait, what 10-show? Oh, you're talking about the thing, Ernie Bach Jr. Is that what he claimed? He has like 10 shows with Ernie Bach Jr. or something like that. That's all I heard about that. That was very quick, but that's all I heard about that. Maybe she did, maybe. Well, for me, it's a game over anyway, because if they say anything about any of you, like, this is my chosen family. Like, you're not going to come from my chosen family. We're not going to have that. Nope. Nope. We're not doing all that. That's my red line. Sorry, not sorry. Listen, I'm a sucker for a good everything bagel. All right. Love everything bagels, but they're too expensive. There's no need to buy them because they're too expensive. They're like freaking $6 for a thing of everything bagels. Well, that's the thing. I pointed out the obvious. I didn't attack the way she looked or anything like that. Just the behavior. That's it, because that's the way I roll usually. I wasn't in chat. No, I fell asleep before any of that happened. I fell asleep. I was out like a light ski. I was tired. Yeah, I don't know anything about that other than like everything he says he's going to do ultimately usually gets canceled because of his own behavior. So we'll see, I guess. Oh, I love that. I love you guys. Yeah, $150K for each. Why can't he pay for his own defense then? Why can't he pay for his own? Oh, I see. Yeah, that probably, right? Why can't he pay for his own defense? He has to raise all this money for his, quote, defense fund that he's raised more than enough, in my opinion, for his defense fund. He wants everybody else to pay for him to like sue everyone else is what he really wants. And then he keeps racking up more charges and expects everybody else to pay for it, which is insanity to me. Absolute insanity. And we're halfway through the show. We're at 1 hour and 36 minutes. So I would ask kindly. Yeah, no, believe me. Sometimes I have to. So onions and peppers are inflammatory, and I have a lot of pain. So I love onions and peppers and garlic. Garlic's good for the gut, but onions and peppers are inflammatory. So I have to cut out a lot of onions and peppers, even though I don't want to. I had to cut down a lot on them because they make my body hurt. So believe me, I totally get it, my friend. I totally get it. And I mean, don't get me wrong, I love myself a good everything bagel, but I usually don't buy them because they're too freaking expensive. But they're delicious. I would some chive or garden cream cheese. Oh, yes, it's so good. That sounds delicious right now. I'm not even gonna lie. Not even gonna lie. But I totally get why you'd have to give them up after surgery because I had to cut down on peppers and onions and I don't want it because peppers and onions are freaking delicious. Okay. See, yeah, for health reasons, some people just can't. And I would love peppers and onions would be in my diet every single day if they weren't so inflammatory and didn't make me hurt. Believe me, like they're so good, so good. All right, so we're halfway through. Halfway through the show, an hour 37. I know I'm making me hungry. Never mind you. I'm making myself hungry. Hour and 37 minutes. So, if you can, I would ask. The show had a really shitty week last week. We really did. So we can use all the support we can get this week, next week, and half the week after. This is my, the first was my official start to at least attempting to save anything for children's birthdays, my birthday, the whole shebang, right? So if you can donate to the channel, we would be more than ecstatic. We appreciate it. We understand not everybody can, of course. That's why there's things like liking and sharing and just being here and commenting and doing all those amazing things. Hitting the like button, those are all very important. Very important. But if you can, we ask that you help support the channel in one of the millions of ways we have to do so. They're not actually millions, but you know what I mean. There's a bunch of different ones. We have Venmo, we have CashApp, we have PayPal, we have Revolut. For those of you who are a country, we actually have Chime as well. The Chime is the exact same thing as the CashApp. CashApp and Chime are the exact same tags. $sign SKYE3188. The Venmo is just the @SKYE3188. PayPal will pop up as Wicked Pearls and Personalizations once you pop in the email. And then there's a link we have in chat and in the description of the video where you can just click on that link and you can enter any amount you want, credit or debit. I will send it to you afterwards. I promise. After the show, that's the first place I usually go is emails and then X. At least I try to without getting distracted to answer all my messages. But because those are where I get the bulk of my messages. But you can remain anonymous in any of those. We don't have to read it. If you would like to remain anonymous, you can just write that on it, that you want it anonymous on Cash App. The way to say that you want to be anonymous, because you can't like write anything, is just the smiley face with the $sign tongue. It's like a green tongue. Some people prefer to remain anonymous, obviously. For obvious reasons, they don't want to be attacked by the cult, and I don't fucking blame them at all. I really, really don't. It's ridiculous. But when we do read them, we usually read some really good ones from people who don't want to remain anonymous. And I'm keeping a cork board now of every time I get anything from Amazon, which is once in a while. It's not all the time. I keep the little slip where people can write their comments on, because I usually get such a nice little, whether it's just a nice like thank you or some encouraging words. They're always really sweet. And so I had my husband bring a cork board to put up here above my screens and to tack each one on there until I fill that board up with all the kind little, slips of paper of things that you guys say, which I freaking absolutely love. I know, I have that one, the I love office supplies. I do too. I have this thing for folders and papers on my wish list. It goes on your desk and you can put folders and papers in the different slots and it's pink. And I was like, I'm putting that like over here where it would, be like, that's probably where it would sit is over here. But I put that on my wish list. And that was the other office supply thing I had. I bought these from Temu a while ago with their little push pins and their hearts. And I love them because they're pink and they're hearts, but it helps with my cork board. So I have 2 cork boards. I love cork board. All right, let's see. Ooh, everything bagel, what happens is when all the like poppy seeds and stuff fall off the bottom of the bagel, and you're picking it up, when you go to take that second bite, you just pick them all up and sprinkle them on top. So good. I'm just saying. That's a little trick for you. Chipotle. I'm not a huge Chipotle person. I'm not. There's a reason though why, like, on my wish list, there's like gift cards for like DoorDash, Instacart, and Uber and Instacart, because that's how I get my groceries and that's how we get around in a car. And DoorDash is for the very rare occasions that we ever get to sort of like get something and eat out, because, you know, it's not in the budget. It's not in the budget. I know, I'm so jealous you're going to Ireland. I want you to have so much fun. So much fun, though, and take lots of pictures. We want to see pictures. We want to see what it looks like over there. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, I don't think anybody, I mean, I've never heard of anybody actually like messaging her or calling her or fake texting her or anything like that before. And that's what I think was a point for a lot of people, which was like, nobody does that to her. Why the fuck are we doing it to other people? It just doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? It just doesn't. Yeah, I feel you, my friend. I feel you. I feel you. But I will not forget. I promise. I will send it when I'm done with the show. I will not forget. Welcome, Deidre, my friend. Oh crap! You sent me that. I need to put that up too. Hold on. I have the link for you guys. Liver failure. That's why I only drink like 10 times a year. My liver, you know. I was born with a bum liver, so it's not great. Once in a while, the doctor says it's fine, obviously. I do. I'm a fan, you know? Yeah, you don't want to have to, right? You just want it like right to you. You know what I'm saying? You want it right there already. Yeah, it's too spicy for me too. I know, coming from a Spanish person, you would think that sounds crazy, but yes, no, I'm not a fan of like super spicy stuff. No, don't get me wrong. I use Sazón. I like a little bit of spice, but I don't like a kick. There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Too sharp. So I have, let me get it up for you guys though. Hold on. Actually, you know what? I'm going to send it to Jesse, and Jesse can put it in the chat, because it's just the easiest way to do it. I'm going to send this to you, Jesse, and I need you to put it in the chat for these guys. So I'm going to have Jesse put the link up for Deidre and Amber's spaces tonight. Tomorrow. It's tomorrow, right? Today's Tuesday. Tomorrow. Right? It's not just me, right? I can only tolerate a little. I can't do a lot. A lot is not a thing for me. I can't. People are like, you're Spanish. You're supposed to like spicy. I'm like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. God damn it. No, I'm not. No, I'm freaking not. Oh, now it makes him uncomfortable. Now that I have said something. Yeah, okay. Now he's uncomfortable with Nan sending him money. Please, let's be. That is so dishonest. It's just so dishonest, in my opinion. It just really is. So I just had Jesse put in the chat the link for spaces. Deidre and Amber are doing a spaces tomorrow night on a case that they're covering, that they've been working on for like a year. And they will have the widow on, and they will have some of the audio of like the cops and stuff. And so I definitely think that if you haven't, you should check it out. It's one of those things that's going to be quite interesting. And, you know, when people work hard on that, we should support them. You know, we should support anybody else in our community that does this, because it's going to be hard enough for them to walk the uphill battle, because once you have spoken out in any way, shape, or form against the turtle, he tries to make your life a living hell. And believe me, I've been dealing with it since the winter of 2023. It's a fighting battle literally every single day. So we should do whatever we can to make it easier for anyone, because if anybody is willing to speak up in that department, that usually means that at least they have some integrity. You know what I'm saying? Because they know they're going to get attacked, and yet they speak up anyway. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, you'll get lots of that with the trolls being like, you talk to an anti, you follow an anti. So what? Are you going to do I need to point out every time one of the FKR, and I don't even want to say FKR, but like turtle trolls, like every time that, ask them if their relatives all have the same religion as them, or ask them if any of their relatives have different political beliefs and should they poo-poo them. It's the same fucking thing. It's a difference of opinion. It does not mean that you need to hate each other. That's a fucking weird way of thinking. And do you know who brought that weird way of fucking thinking to be normal? The turtle. It's not normal. If anybody else had covered the case, I fully think that it wouldn't be as toxic as it is. I'm sorry, that's my opinion. And I know a lot of people agree with me. Oh, the he. Who's the he? I want to know if is Will saying that or is Aiden saying that he's now uncomfortable with Nan sending the money. Perfect. Yep, true crime. And that's what we like. We like it. We like it. Oh, we have. I expose it all. I have exposed a lot. A lot. We have. Oh, of course not. Never have a hard time spending it, you know? I mean, that's just gross. You know, that's just gross to me. It's 8 p.m., 8 Eastern Standard Time. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you. I love rice. Rice and Hamburg. Oh, so good. It's one good meal. You know what I mean? Add some sausage into that. Ooh, so freaking good. Sharp knife. I love it. That's okay. It's a learning curve. It was even Spaces was a learning curve for me a little bit. You know what I mean? Right? You know what I'm saying? Me either. Who cares who likes who for what? You know what I mean? Oh, the glier. I just don't buy that. I'm sorry. Who's going to say, hey, please stop sending me money? That's weird. I don't believe it. If you were friends with her at the time and she was helping you out by like supporting your channel, why would you tell her to stop? That doesn't make sense. I mean, that's just not, it doesn't make it make sense. Now that you don't like her maybe, but before, that just doesn't make sense to me. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't. It's right here. I'll remind you again tomorrow. I will remind you again tomorrow. I'll put it in the Discord, or Deidre can put it in the Discord right before they're about to do the space. Maybe you can do that, Deidre, too. Remind everybody, like, in the Discord right before you're about to do the space. That way they can go there. I always find that helps if you tell everybody, like, you know, I'll have Jessie come and be like, oh, she's almost live, or she's going to be live. That way everyone knows and they can just go there, you know? Will. She's talking about Will. Will. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, see, that's the thing. People don't need to hate each other just because they don't believe the same thing. That's fucking weird, you know? There has to be something else that happened, you know? There has to be. There's got to be more to that story, you know? There has to be. And I agree with you. I've had the same experience. Or you know what? Just tell me. Let's remind me, like right before, and I'll put it in the Discord, or I can have Jessie do it. Even if you don't do Discord, we can have one of us do it. Just remind me, because if you don't remind me, I will literally forget, because I have so much on my plate right now that my brain sometimes feels like it's going to explode. Sometimes it feels like it explode. I kid you not. Hold on a second. I'm just, you know, I always get something, but I'm like, is it good? Is it tea? Do we have tea that's coming? No tea. No tea there. Gosh darn it. Thought we was getting some gosh dang tea. Well, no tea. I know, right? Somebody will remind me. Jessie's really good at reminding me. She's like my secretary, and if I forget, usually she remembers. That's for sure. So I think the part that really bugs me, right, is that a lot of these people, right? See, I can't watch him. I can't do it. I can't. Somebody else is gonna have to do it for me and then tell me what happens, because I can't do it. I don't have the capacity. But we're talking about the same people who sat there and said to people, They are like, you know, people who are fighting for injustice, right? They that's the part that gets me, right? They're crusaders for the truth, right? They build their entire brand off of fucking outrage until the spotlight flips around and suddenly they have the memory of a fucking goldfish on NyQuil at that point. Then they can't seem to remember all the things they had been saying that they've been feeding people this entire time, now that that time is over. And it stands to reason that we can just sit here and say, wait a second. Wait a fucking second. Who are these people really? These are crusaders for the truth, right? That's what they claim to be. Crusaders for the fucking truth. These self-appointed journalists of chaos, which they keep proving one thing. If you can get hired, just hire your own fucking delusion at that point, you know? It just really gets me. It does, you know? They're the internet experts. The experts, you know, the ones who decided that they were an expert of everything and they needed to tell people things that weren't true. It's really annoying at this point. You know, these are the people like Nan that scream ethics louder than fucking anyone on planet Earth. All right. Right before doing something that makes ethics call in sick. All right. If accountability were a class at that point, half of these people would have dropped out. They would have dropped it after syllabus day, dude. Like that's the bottom line. Ethics, freedom of speech, freedom of speech, freedom of speech. We're talking about the same people over and over and over, and this is what they scream from the rooftops, and they do something completely unethical, completely over the bounds of what freedom of speech is, and they have to cover their own assets. It just starts to become to a point where you have to start questioning if they're being authentic, right? And we've come to that point now where a lot of these people are showing you exactly who they are, including Nan Gallagher. And when people show you who they are in that way, you should believe them. This isn't a mistake. She doubled and then tripled down on it, right? Thank you. Appreciate you. Doubled and tripled down on it. All right? Laughed about it. Ha ha ha. Funny, funny, ha ha. It's a fucking circus of hypocrisy at this point. It just... He said her family has been nothing but nice to him. That's fucking hilarious. But we're talking about the same people that said Karen Read was awesome, great, fantastic, but then now are saying something completely different because, well, they're not on that trail anymore. They went through 2 trials and they forgot to say that. 2 trials and they forgot to say she was a horrible, awful person, right? Or did the money just go down, right? Now they need to find something new to latch onto at this point. That's the part that people should be questioning. You know what I'm saying? It should. It's gross. It's gross. It's freaking gross. It doesn't make sense to me. Hold on. Let me see if anybody sent. Sometimes people will send me clips on X. Let me check real quick and see if anybody sent me any good clips that we can play on X. I don't see any, but sometimes we get lucky with something in the requested messages folder thing. Nope. See anything there either. Nope. Nope, nothing there either. It just really fucking burns my butt. All right. I think because people think it's like the volume, like how much they talk about something, or if they say it enough times or loud enough that it magically makes it true. You know? Oh my God, yes. Yes, this is a good point, right? So Will reminds me of that friend we've all had who gets broken up with but can't get over it, and then tortures everyone else by going on and on and on about it. Yeah, the wind is pretty bad. I mean, I've been watching it out the window. It's pretty bad today. You ever see somebody who's like allergic to accountability? They need like an EpiPen every time the receipts drop. That would be the sewer turtle. You know, it's rewriting history in real time in crayon, and there's no one better than trying to rewrite history in crayon than the sewer turtle and the sewer squad. These people love trying to rewrite history. I mean, the lack of self awareness to go on a show the day after you conduct yourself in a way that helps with cyberbullying, to talk about cyberbullying, blows my fucking mind. Nan did that. She was invited onto a show to talk about cyberbullying. And they were talking all about it, how she was going to be on that show the day after she did that. That's just crazy to me. That's fucking bananas to me. These people act like they're on Dateline, but in realistic, they're on Delusion 101. You know, Delusion 101. That's what, it's not Dateline, it's Delusion 101. They keep saying things are just untrue, right? He attacks everyone and anyone that he can because of petty jealousy, revenge, and then you'll see 1, 2, 3 people jump right on that bandwagon. You know, here comes Jess on the bandwagon, here comes Will on the bandwagon, Nurse Kim jumps on the bandwagon, and there you have it, folks. Sewer Squad jumps on. Right after the Sewer Turtle does it, boom, 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 one after another, they harp on the same person or same subject or same thing. That's not fucking Dateline, that's delusion. That's what that is. You can't spell influence without flu, my friends. And the way misinformation spreads, it's definitely viral. I mean, I don't even know the dates of the trial. I'd have to go back and look because there was 2. But they were both like summer, spring. So like May, June, July. I don't know the date. But it is windy. It's very windy. You know? Very, very windy. A lot of people stay in the bushes for a long time. We have a lot of people that are still in the bushes now. There's, 240 something people watching on X right now. It's 350 something total. And that's a lot of bushes. It's a lot of people in the bushes, Yeah, it's like a haunted hayride. They all jump on together. It's exactly right. You know what I mean? To me, it's wild watching people audition for fucking credibility with no script and no truth. How are we doing that? How are we doing that, folks? How are we doing that? How? How? Every time these people say like, I have the receipts, I feel like at that point an actual journalist loses a fucking Wi-Fi bar every time. Every fucking time. It's like, at what point are we gonna recognize that some of the shit they're saying just doesn't make sense, right? Or that it's the same patterns over and over and over. I can predict these patterns before they even happen. And I do oftentimes predict these patterns before they ever happen. I mean, how many more times is the circus going to add and subtract performers, right? They've added performers to the nonsense of the fucking delusion circus, and then they've subtracted as many as well. And it's going to keep going in this sort of vicious circus circle, where it's add the circus clowns, subtract the circus clowns. It's crazy to me. That's okay. You're allowed. I'll allow it, Maestro. I'll allow it. I shall allow it. It has been a fucking hell of a journey. You can say that again, my friend. I think the most ironic part of it all to me is they'll actually scream from the rooftops that they have receipts for a lie. Like, you can't have receipts for a lie, right? But most of the time, the quote receipts are his own screenshots that he has cropped and put out of order and removed things in context he doesn't want you to see. And so for me, the funniest part is every time that they lie, they post it like it's a fucking public service announcement at that point. You know, they call it breaking news, and I don't. I call it breaking fucking logic, all right? Logic. Like, breaking your brain. You're breaking your brain. It's not breaking news. Your receipts are cropped screenshots in the order that you want them in with context removed. That is not a fucking receipt, okay? It's not even anything close to what you would call a fucking receipt at that point. I'm sorry, I'm like looking to see if there's anything that has happened that we don't know about yet. But I mean, I really like that one line that James Jackson said, which I don't need to fucking receipt. I own the whole store. And it's like, sometimes that's how I feel, because some receipts I can't put out in public because it risks someone else being outed or doxxed or harassed by the mob. And so I have to keep those receipts to myself. I still have them. I still can see the truth right in front of my two eyes. I can still tell you guys, right? But I can't post the receipt. Does it mean that I don't have the receipt? No. Does it mean that I don't have the truth in front of me? No. It just means that I can't post the receipt. And so people are like, oh, well, if you can't show the receipt, it didn't happen. And it's like, no, fuck off with your asking for a receipt. I have it. I can see it right in front of me. You can choose to listen to me or you can choose not to. That's your choice. I don't give a fuck either way, right? I'm still going to tell my audience, and they can choose whether I'm being credible and they think that I know what I'm talking about or not. That's up to them, not up to me. You know, that is up to them, not me. But sometimes I can't put those out there. You can say that again, Ski. I've had a rough week, my friend. Believe you me when I say I totally get it. I do. I totally understand it, my friend. And I just have this like sneaking suspicion in my heart that it's not going to get better in the next 2 weeks. And I'm like preparing myself. You know what I mean? I'm preparing myself. I am. God, you know, I had to learn to like save shit that I probably never would. Like that I'd be like, oh, let me save this. Now, the saving, you know, like conversations with people, all conversations, that's fucking weird. That's weird. There are certain things that I'll save that are public, but I would never sit there and save personal because I'm never going to put someone's personal conversation with me out there. If someone else's gets leaked, I might reshare that if it's relevant to the Sewer Turtle Squad and all the shit that goes on there, but I'm never going to share someone's personal conversations with me because they're personal conversations with me. I'm never going to release those, no matter who it's to, because they came to me in confidence. That's a private message. They didn't come to me publicly. They came to me privately. There's a reason for that. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And nobody deserves to be harassed by a fucking mob of lunatics that don't know what they're talking about. You know, a lot of these people don't know half the shit that happens behind closed doors. You know, they just don't. They have no blue hair. I don't know about blue. I've definitely gone like a black blue because my natural hair color is black. But as you can see, all my roots where my gray hair is coming in, I've actually thought about going. And I'm not even 40 yet, but my mom went gray early. So thanks, Mom. Appreciate your genes. But my natural hair color is black. This is my natural hair color, literally. So I really just usually just dye my roots black. And I've done like a black blue, but never like a blue. I actually said recently to my husband, like, what if I just went full red? I always joke with him, like, what if I go blonde? Because I know I would look ridiculous in blonde. My skin has a very like yellow texture, like a tanny, but like has like tones of yellow. And I think it would look ridiculous as a blonde. I don't think it would look good at all. I've never attempted it, but I don't think I ever would. But I've done like, the only things I've ever done with my hair has been like a blonde ombre on the bottom or a red ombre on the bottom. I've done highlights, I think, twice in my life. Other than that, it's just usually just dyeing my roots because my hair is a very beautiful black color. And that's not, you don't usually see that with someone who's, you know, part white. And, you know, usually it's dark brown, not black. And mine has always been black. My mother's hair is also black. My sisters, though, are all dark brown. So I got a really nice black tone. So I like to keep it. I feel like the point has been missed. The TV's most recent victim essentially said she has Forrest Gump intelligence, and he knew that and deliberately tortured her on a stream. Which one? He's had like a couple victims recently, so I don't know which one you mean. A lot of these people, it's not that they don't have intelligence, it's that, you know, things like tech or something like that might be harder for them to understand. They would be older, or they might not use tech. You know what I mean? I don't think it has anything to do with their intelligence, but I don't know which one you mean either. He's got quite a few recently. Unfortunately. I mean, it's gross. A lot of these people are fucking rude, you know? See you next time. Let me see. Yeah, if I say I have it, right? Like, I'm not just gonna say it. That's the thing. If I didn't, I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't say it at all. I would say nothing. You know? I would just say nothing. I would just say nothing. Girl, you're telling me. It's hard. It's been hard. You know? Oh, I've been riding forever. Thank God for my grandfather and really my ex teaching me how to ride, because I love the feeling of the wind in my hair, just riding on a motorcycle. It's just a feeling that's just a whole different feeling. Yeah, it's a real thing. Herd mentality, mob mentality, cult mentality. It's a real thing. You know? You're a rider, you're a biker, my friend. That's a biker. If you're a rider of motorcycles, then you are a biker, my friend. You know? Yeah, right? Feel like we all have that, like, going on. I feel like at this point, too, we're dealing with the same sort of script with these people. It's this whole, like, pattern. And me and Jesse were talking about this morning. I can call this pattern from a mile away. But it's the same sort of thing over and over and over. Outrage, blame, backpedal, repeat, rinse, repeat. Honestly, at this point, it's like a subscription service for bad decisions. It's like Aiden's subscription service that I said that he got a long time ago called Felonflix. Yeah, he likes those ones. Felonflix. Hashtag Felonflix. Right? The receipts aren't receipting. Oh, that was Kara. And she has plenty of intelligence. As a matter of fact, she's very successful in business and personal in her own life. But she just wanted to be left alone. It wasn't even that the forgiveness. It was more like, I'll tell you whatever you want to fucking hear if you just leave me the fuck alone. And that's sick. I have to take advantage of that, knowing that she's someone who's more of a lover, not a fighter, where she just wants to be left the fuck alone. It's gross for someone to take advantage of someone like that. You know, she would have told him anything he wanted to hear as long as she just left him. As long as he left her the fuck alone. That's somebody who's dealt with abuse, right? That is somebody who has PTSD, somebody who has healing to do still. And he took advantage of that. That's what he does, though. She's not the only one. He does this to many, many, many people. Many. You know, many. I do too. Me too. You know? I feel you on that one. It's definitely a very sad ridden horses. Haven't in years, but I get what you mean. It's definitely that similar feeling of just the wind and that freedom to go where you want. It's just a great feeling. If you have never tried either, you should put it on your bucket list. You know, I feel like it is. You know, yeah, I feel that. It's what to be fair, I feel like we're all teetering on being laid off. This is my job, and I'm teetering on that. You know what I mean? It just is. I think it's around Christmas time, the holidays, everybody scales back, and it's a tough time. Left lawsuit, right? I mean, we're talking about these same people that, you know, claim in one way or another to be exposing corruption, but then they're a part of corruption. Make it make sense. You can't be exposing corruption. You know, they can't expose fucking daylight with the curtains open. in my opinion, in my humble opinion. You know, oh, we're exposing corruption here. No, you can't expose daylight with the fucking curtains open, dude. All right, that's realistic at this point. You know, that's what we're doing. They can't expose shit because they can't stop their own corruption. Corruption isn't just government corruption. It's, you know, exposing corruption is exposing all kinds of corruption, and that includes the kind of corruption that we're seeing when it comes to these people, like wiretapping or lying, straight out lying to their fucking audiences and making enemies with other people because they're too afraid to stand up to the sewer turtle. They're too afraid of losing viewers. They're too afraid of losing dollars. They're just afraid, right? That's corruption. That is corruption. It is corruption. That is a type of corruption. Nobody thinks about that. I think about that. There's only so much we can do, my friend. Believe me, I've been working on it for 2 years, but there's only so much I can do. I can only, you know, help the victims, give advice, you know, try to write up bills with our lawmakers and try to get something passed. Like, there's only so much you can do, you know, and the justice system is slow and it sucks here in Massachusetts. It doesn't do its job here like it should. That's for damn fucking sure. It sometimes feels like that. It does. But, you know, yeah, I feel like everyone is, right? At this point, walking on shows to not get laid off or not lose their source of income or not, you're, you know, one bad day away from not being able to put groceries in the fridge, you know? And AI, that's a big part of it now too, you know? And it is scary. It is fucking scary. It really does, you know? See, that's no good either. You know, you got to take it a minute at a time at this point, an hour at a time if you have to. I agree. Most of the cults are women, middle-aged women, which makes me even sadder. That makes me even sadder that most of these people are women. Think about that for a minute. Most of them are women. It's no good. It's no good, guys. You know, you can't say you stand for truth and then you fucking trip over it every time it walks by. And that's what some of these people do. I stand for truth. Truth and transparency for what? For everyone but you? For everyone but the sewer cult? You know? You would think, because women are very smart, you know? But I think a lot of these people are sort of looking for a place, like I've said, to belong, or they've been broken in some way or hurt in some way. And so they think that's their space. That's their community. That's their space. That's a place where they can whatever. And in reality, that's not the case at all. You know? That's not the case at all. You know? Oh, I 100% agree with you. It's about the work that you do and not wanting to leave it. Believe me, I get it. If anybody gets it, I fucking get it. I understand it. I really do. It's when you have to think about whether you're going to be able to continue doing the thing that you love to do and helping the amount of people that you like to help, and at the same time, you know, it being your job. It's a sad thing to think about, that you might not be able to continue to do it, whether that's because of AI or because you work, at least in the Department of Education, like whatever the case may be, or you're like me and you work on YouTube and it's just not working, right? Like you have to hit a certain line for it to be, you can't lose, right? You can't lose money because then you can't do it. It's not possible. Oh no. Hold on a second. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I don't think there's any clever ways other than to let him keep shooting himself in the foot, you know? Damn it. God damn it. See, this is what I mean. Like, this is crazy. You know, sometimes it makes me frustrated at, like, when something happens, I can't exactly tell you guys what's going on, but, like, I just want y'all to know that, like, while we're all here, just talking, whatever, people of the cult and the leader are out there doing really awful, awful, terrible shit. Like, really awful, terrible shit. Like, shit no normal person would think of to do. And all these people that throw their support behind someone like him makes my stomach turn, because they're supporting this kind of shit that's happening right now. Like, this stuff that's happening, you know? I can't tell you. What I can tell you is just it's bad. It's bad. It's horrible. Like, it's bad. It's shit that he does that's just bad, that he does to everyone in one way or another in its capacity, because he's angry. He's angry. He's being held accountable, right? He's angry, you know? It's just not okay. It's not. And for me, I'm fine. It's not me. It's not me. It's just the shit that he does is so gross, right? Imagine every day waking up and all you get is, like, hate mail from people. You know what I mean? Imagine waking up every day and, like, something else has happened. They're texting your neighbor or your friends or your, loved ones, or people who aren't even your loved ones but might have been matched under some weird thing online that says they're related even though they're not. Like, all sorts of shit. This is, like, the crap that he does, and it's like, people don't realize what they're supporting, you know they don't. They're supporting somebody's mental health being thrown down the fucking drain to the point where they're standing on the edge, you know like, if anybody feels like they are on that edge, you call me first, or you message me, or you get a hold of me, you know I've been there. It's not a nice place to be. It's a shitty way to feel, but no one should have to feel it, right? Especially not from a mob of lunatics, you know no, it's not on any of that. I think that's what he does, right? He spirals. Dawn is fine. He spirals. That's what he does. He spirals, and then he just starts thinking of anything he can do to hurt someone who bothers, right? Exactly. Who bothers to stand up to him. You bother to stand up to him, right? That it becomes a problem for him. Ashley's fine. It becomes a problem for him. If you stand up to him, he wants you to pay the consequences, so you shut up, you go away, you hurt yourself so that he doesn't have to deal with the problem anymore. Like, all of it, I know you don't, and it's unfortunate that you don't. But I think more of me trying to sort of tell you guys, like, the things that he does behind closed doors are the things that these people are supporting. You know what I'm saying? Well, probably both, Jimbo. I'm guessing both, probably, And the women, they can be so awful. Angry. For what? You're angry for what? You're angry for him? Like, terrible. It's not okay. Like, what do you want from these people? Their firstborn child? Like, everyone makes mistakes. We're all human, okay? But does that mean that they deserve to be harassed into oblivion? No. Does that mean that every person that he victimizes needs to deal with all of this? Like, mob mentality of these, middle-aged women mostly, as we talked about earlier, who are making their lives a living fucking hell? Because I'm going to bet you money that if it was any of these people and it was the opposite way around, they'd be the first people at the police station saying this is not okay, right? It's not. And I think whoever said it a couple minutes ago here kind of hit the nail on the head, right? Where it was Deidre, a cornered animal. So what he's acting like, a cornered rat. There's nothing that he can do except lash out, right? Lash out, lash out, lash out. But the way he lashes out is behind closed doors. Behind closed doors. Yeah, people will do crazy shit. They do. Bitter baby mama. I mean, it's weird shit. Like, what are you fangirling about? He's not, again, this is not somebody with millions of subscribers. He's at 160,000 subscribers or something. What are you fangirling over, dude? Okay? Like, what are you fangirling over? What you're helping him do behind closed doors is awful. It's awful. It's not okay. Okay? You're doing damage to real people in real life. And people don't seem to understand. Like, oh, it's just the internet. Oh, it's just not. No, it's not. It moves from the internet behind closed doors. And it's moved there a long time ago. Now it's affecting real people's lives. Real people who aren't even involved in any of this. That's not okay. Right? I feel like it is. 'Tis the season for evilness. It's just awful. Oh, God. What now? Oh, God. I mean, a lot of people used to like him, but I also know by talking to a lot of those people that they just didn't really understand who he was, right? Until they something happened that made them see, whether it was him attacking a friend or a family member or someone they knew, and then seeing the lies in real time, the way that you can just lie. Some people don't realize it, And that's the thing, right? If you think Proctor's texts are disgusting, what the fuck do you call Aiden? The shit he says is 10 times worse than anything that fucking Mike Proctor could have ever said. Like, that's ridiculous. They tried so many things when it came to Me Too. It's gross. And I can't stress enough. I'm trying to see the newest fucking tweet. I have been blocked, so it's hard for me to see on this. I don't think it'll let me see it on my computer. I think I have to go onto it. This is what I mean about computer being different than your phone. My phone, I can see things on that I can't see on my computer for whatever reason. Like, if I have somebody blocked on my computer, it won't let me see it, but I can still see it if I go onto my phone, which is strange. I don't know why. So what's the newest? This bitch has been up to no good today. We're going to talk about it on the show tonight. What does Jackie Dougal have anything to do with anything? Like, what the fuck? What, like, she exists and she's a woman, so he needs to harass her. That's this problem. No one notices that 99.9% of the people he goes after are women. No one. You'd think that the women in this would understand. This is like, come on, man. Like, wake up. What you're supporting is something disgusting and evil behind closed doors, and you don't even realize it. You think I just say it for my health? You think other people are screaming it from the rooftops for their fucking health? You think the whole, oh, well, he just exposed them so they're mad thing really lasts for years? You think people really are mad he exposed them for years and years and years? You don't ever think in your brain, maybe what's really happening is these people are trying to stop other people from being hurt, and he's just a liar. He's the common denominator in all of this. Every person he ever surrounds himself with ends up fucking having to fight again. Nobody sees that. Like, it's almost as if their brain cells have been turned off for whatever amount of time until they get returned on when they step outside of the cult for some breaths. But taking them to get to step outside of it is the biggest problem, because up until now they still think all this stuff is funny and ha and he's making fun of someone, he's outing someone. He's got some petty beef that he won't tell anyone about because he knows how it makes him look. So in turn, he makes up some reason and some multitude of other reasons to sort of, squish in there. It's just some screenshots that he takes pieces out of and moves them into different. You guys have no idea the lengths this person goes. He will even actually make texts up if he has no content or he wants to add content and claim that they're real when they're not. My grandparents did the same thing. Education was very important, See, that's my problem, right, Brittany? Is that and I looked. And what are the comments, right? Are this person is blocked, this person. So a bunch of people that I blocked. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder why. 89 or 69 comments already. And most of them are, this person's blocked. This person's blocked. This person's blocked. Like, what the? And they're just making fun of the way she looks, making fun of her eyebrows. I mean, these are women. These are women making fun of her teeth, her chin. Like, what is wrong with any of you? And none of these people are people who are probably beauty queens. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm not a fucking beauty queen. So to sit here and look at this is disgusting. This was a good comment. So this person 19 seconds ago said, yeah, all right, people, let's mount up on the horses. Our leader is going to destroy another woman. He says she's a bitch. Tell you what, Aiden, if you're such a tough woman hater, do the same to Jess Machado and watch her hand your ass to you. She hung you out to dry, but crickets. Why? She knows things that could hurt him. So then, of course, all these other people just, again, making fun of her looks, and most of them are women. Oh my God, someone made a beautiful, whoever Ben Burnett is, slamming BJB. This was the comment. This is award-winning journalism at its finest. No wonder Karen has distanced herself from you. We should start calling you Krusty Turtle. And then this person says, oh, my friend, donations coming your way. Jackie is the worst. Please expose her crap. She sucks. What she's doing is nothing short of insane. Needs to stop. What is she doing other than existing? So, yay, donations. You're making fun of another woman. A woman who just existed in life, who happens to be a cop's wife, so she bad now because he said so. When are people going to wake the fuck up? When are they going to realize that they will quickly be his target just as easily as anybody else? That's the other thing. Stop pearl clutching over the Proctor text if you're really going to say that anything that he says or does like that is okay. That part gets me, Like, come on. Oh, yeah, the whole die in the hole thing. Yeah, I remember somebody sending me that clip. You should just die in a hole. Blah, 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 blah. He doesn't like free speech. He only likes his free speech. There's a big difference. He only likes his free speech. Say it with me. His. Not anyone else's, just his. Yeah, exactly. Paranoia, antagonism, narcissism, a lack of empathy. These are mostly women. Stop supporting this man, dude. Someone's going to hurt themselves. I have been fucking screaming this from the rooftops for I don't even know how fucking long. Something tragic is going to happen and nobody seems to care. I agree, Katie. Oh, girl, I know. Those texts are going to be horrible. The superiority complex, you hit that nail on the head, you know? I just don't understand how these people at this point can still support this. Like, these are mostly women making fun of another woman simply because he put the picture up and said, we're going to talk about this horrible person. Like, what the, you know? I know. Every time he does it again to someone, that witness intimidation clock goes back. So, you know, if they didn't sue in 3 years and he goes back to doing it again, like that time goes back, like starts over, you know? But then he's not calling out corruption. He's now moving on to whoever and whatever. Just, you know, if you're married to a cop or, you know, Carl Dougal was just John's friend. That's it. He wasn't investigating any of this. It's nothing to do with any of it. He was just John O'Keefe's friend. Jackie's just his wife. Why go after Jackie? Simply because she's Carl Dougal's wife. Carl Dougal, who was just friends with John O'Keefe. What the fuck is wrong with people? There's no tenacity, dude. There's no tenacity. He didn't do it because he had tenacity to call it corruption. He did it for the money and fame. You know what I mean? Sorry. I guess so. That's what he claims, you know? You know, I don't know. A person who's all goodness and love, well, you can't be goodness and love if you're okay with all of that. And that's pandering. That's pandering down to him. You know what I'm saying? I can't disagree with that, Heisenberg. You know, I can't. You guys have to. This is not okay. Yeah, the C word. That's not okay. Not even okay. Not even a little. Like, why aren't people waking up? No, she's Carl Dougal's wife. Carl Dougal, who was just friends with John O'Keefe. That's it. You know? That's it. Hey. Yeah, I think she really means, like, you know, the turtle cult. No, she's just Carl's wife. Carl Dougal's wife, who was just John's friend. That's it. Not, you know what I mean? Yes, it's Carl's wife. Maybe. I don't know. It's possible. But again, so we're talking about the loved one of a dead officer, and that somehow warrants the harassment of a woman. You know what I mean? But but that's what it is. It's bullying. It's attacking. It's not journalism. Let's be clear about that. There's nothing journalistic about it. No, I think she means like the people now, like supporting all of it is what she means. It's so bad. It's so fucking bad. And this is what worries me, right? And I don't express it publicly because I'm a small channel. Okay, let's put it that way. This is why I say to you guys all the time, like, this is a small channel. I can't get by without the kindness of all of you. And the stuff that I do behind the scenes, like, I know it's important. Believe me, I understand how important it is. And how important the show is to get the word out. But at the same time, we're too small. Does that make sense? We're too small of a show to maintain at this point. So I need to grow, or I need to bring in more revenue, because if I can't, we're screwed. Ultimately, we're screwed. And with the last week and some change being bad, it's not looking great at the moment. So, you know, I push and I push and I do everything I possibly can do to keep, you know, us chugging along. But if I can't grow the channel, which I've been trying to do in different ways, and it's just too slow of a grow. I need it to grow a little bit bigger, a little bit faster. Then I can't get done what needs to be done, right? Yeah, the bullhorn incident. So yeah, Jackie Dougal, she's just Carl Dougal's wife. Carl Dougal was almost like really good friends with John O'Keefe. That's it. That's the whole thing. You know, silence is the best medicine for anything. Well, yes and no, because believe me when I say some people will be silent 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, he'll go harder. So it's not always a recipe for, like, he won't just stop because you were silent. that's the goal, is for you to be silent, but he won't just stop because you're silent. Believe me, I've been doing this since 2023. That's not always the answer. Sometimes it's the answer. Most of the time it's not. Because, yeah, selective outrage. Because this is what he does. You know what I mean? He feeds off not just negative attention, but any attention. So if he thinks talking about you will get him any attention, even if you're not talking about him, even if you say nothing about him, he'll keep doing it. He'll keep doing it. He'll never stop. He'll do it years and years and years and years. And at that point, this is how we got to this point. People being completely silent and stopping, sort of like coming back at him, was sort of how he's gotten this far, you know? And at this point, this is why people are starting to fight back, I think, in bigger numbers, because he's never had to deal with that kind of pushback before, where it's been numerous people. It usually has to be like one person, you know? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, you asking for more charges? She could be. He's just terrible as a human being, you know? Liar called JFK injection can't become a cell word. What? Yeah. To me, it's like so difficult, right? Because there's so many turning pieces, right? Not just here, but outside of here. And the pieces that are turning to make this puzzle, like, pieces keep popping up. So it's like you think you finished the puzzle, right? And then a new piece appears and you're like, fuck, I didn't finish the puzzle. This piece goes somewhere, right? And it makes a bigger puzzle. And then you have a bigger problem. And it goes on and on and on. It's almost like never ending. But at the same time, I've said this a million times, there's going to be a tragedy if we can't stop this. You know what I'm saying? We can't stop this from happening. Something, and I said, actually, to the state police, said, what's it going to take? Is it going to take somebody harming themselves like my dad did for this to fucking stop? For you guys to take it seriously? Is that what it's going to take at this point? Because I don't see you guys doing everything you could do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't see you guys doing everything that needs to happen. And I don't think that New Jersey should have to clean up our mess, but I think maybe that's what's going to happen. You know what I mean? I mean, why though? Why even mess with Carl and his wife? Why not leave them the fuck alone? Leave them the fuck alone. You know? It's an uphill battle for victims. You also have to remember, a lot of the victims will go and deal with exactly what you're saying, Sam. And then on top of it, they have these mob of turtle riders telling them that they're not a victim because he said so. They're not a victim because he said so, and they're lying because he said so, and they're bad because he said so, and they deserved it because he said so. And, you know, the victim blaming, the whole victim blaming thing, because he said so. So you have a bunch of women telling another woman she's wrong, she's not a victim, he said she's horrible, so she deserves it, the way she looks, what she did, what she didn't do, you know, all of it, the whole thing. All of them. He will see it as leveling up. That's the biggest problem, Sam, is he'll see it as, oh, I got someone to hurt themselves. He will take that as blowing his own power up, like he's the big guy. And I try to explain to people when they're on that ledge, that's what he wants. It's sad and it's sick, but that is what he wants. Do not give him that fucking satisfaction. I know you just want it to stop. Believe me. I know you just want these people to leave you the fuck alone. And I know that you just want the lies to stop. And I know that you just want the fucking smears to stop. And I know that you just want them to leave you and your family alone. And you want the truth out there and they're not listening. I know. Believe me, I get it. But that ain't the way to get it. It's not going to stop there. He'll just get bolder and someone else will pay the price later on. And that's why I say nobody walks the fuck alone. No one. I don't care who it is. Nobody walks alone. You know, it's not okay. This shouldn't happen to anyone. I'm sure they do. Any decent lawyer will tell him to shut the fuck up. Doesn't mean he's going to do it. Right? And that's his biggest fucking problem. You know? I agree with you. I think it's even more fucking nutty to me to mess with an officer, a lawyer, a judge, I mean, he walked right out of that last hearing and said, I don't give a fuck what the judge said. I don't care if the judge said I can't talk about her. I'm going to do what I want. Oh, well. Okay, well, when you get charged criminally, don't cry to anybody but yourself. Don't cry to your supporters. They need to pay for your defense fund. Okay? Use that $75,000 you made at the last show to pay for your defense fund when you get charged criminally for your criminal behavior. And I think the part that burns me the most is these people are like, it's not criminal behavior, it's First Amendment. No, it's not. It's well beyond First Amendment. This is criminal behavior. If you can't tell the difference, then you need to look again. That's the biggest problem for me, you know? That's the other thing. The other day, I saw him say something like that one of the New Jersey victims, Lindsay, that she posted revenge porn against him. Not only is that completely made up, that's completely false. She did not post any revenge porn against him. This is what I mean. He'll just put something completely false out there, and then people will just repeat it. It's like, didn't you post revenge porn to him? No, that didn't happen. Just because he said it didn't mean it happened. It didn't happen. That's literally false. Did you even look to see if that actually happened, or you just repeat everything he says? Nope, they just repeat everything he says like parrots. Literally, you know? We can. I agree with you, Lisa, but it's even more disgusting as women, because as women, we already have to work twice as hard. That's the bottom line. We have to work twice as hard to get the same thing a man would get. That's the reality of it, okay? That's literally the reality. Twice as hard. So why are we knocking each other down? And why are we doing it for a sewer turtle that doesn't care about any of them? I feel like if his personal messages were just released by the fucking court sometime, that some of these people would wake the hell up and be like, wow, this is really what he thinks of us. Yes, it is what he thinks of you. He doesn't care about any of you. He thinks very little of all of you. I don't get it. I don't understand it. You know? This is not okay. I don't give a fuck. Listen, we're human. We all make mistakes, but does he get to use those as some sort of gotcha? The whole man's life is an entire dumpster fire, and he's going after people for mistakes they made. Why don't you check your own mistakes? Take some accountability and responsibility there. He won't even talk about the wiretapping. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm not going to talk about that. Why not? Why not, sir? Why do you not want to talk about it? Because it's a criminal offense? Because if you didn't do anything wrong, you wouldn't say you wouldn't have to talk about it, right? You wouldn't be like, oh, well, I can't talk about it. My attorneys told me not to. Well, if you didn't do anything wrong, you wouldn't say that. So let's be honest here, you know? Like, here's the thing. The other victim from New Jersey has no accounts. She doesn't have any social media accounts. So nobody in their right mind were like, hey, that's a fake account posting something. Like, no one used their brain cells there. And they just believed him. This is the shit he does. He sets it up and then goes, look what they did. It's the same thing he did in the Ryan Waters case. The same thing he did in Ashley's case. It's the same thing he's done over and over and over. Fucking over. Okay? I mean, I think both can be fucking vile and vicious, you know? But in this case, like in this singular case of the sewer turtle, I can tell you from experience that women have often been way worse. Way worse. Like, in this case, just in this case, let's make that clear, because I think men overall can definitely, like Sam's saying, but I mean, in this case specifically, I've seen so many fucking people, especially women, be really awful to other women, you know, really awful. That's exactly my point, Lisa. The people who are like, well, you asked for it because you did X, Y, or Z, because the way you dressed, because the way you look, because something you said, because something you did. No, absolutely not. It's exactly what he wants. Do you want to know why? Divide and conquer. Easiest trick in the book. Divide people enough so you can conquer them all. You can control them all. This side versus this side. Us versus them. How well did that work out for anybody in the last 2 years? Because believe me, I get a lot of shit for sort of uniting the both sides a little. And I get shit for it, and I don't care. Why? Because it shouldn't be an us versus them. We don't agree on something. We don't have to. We can still be friends. We can still be family. We can still have each other's backs and not agree on something. We can still do that, right? We can still do that's like how humane, normal people act. Normal, humane people do not attack each other and their looks simply because the sewer turtle said they're bad. That man preys on anger and hate. He pats himself on the back when his followers say awful things about anyone he wants to attack. Why does anybody want to be a part of that? Is it because you're broken inside? Because if that's the case, then seek help in a place that can help you heal and be part of a more productive community of people. Because that's not it. That is not it, I promise you. If any of these people stop for a minute, they might find that they sort of joined in simply because they might be a little broken or a little lost or a little upset or in a bad, place in their life, right? Not to say that they can't figure it out. Many people have figured it out, and I give them credit for figuring it out. But at what point do we all stop and say, what the fuck is going on here? And is this something we want to be a part of? Because if you wait until it's too late and someone hurts themselves, how is the rest of the people that jumped on that fucking bandwagon going to feel for the rest of their lives? You contributed to that. That's someone's life. It cannot be brought back. You have one. It's a permanent solution to a temporary problem, but it's permanent nonetheless. And if you contributed to that, how are you going to feel as a person, as a human? Because it doesn't all lay at the feet of him. If you contributed to somebody else wanting to hurt themselves or hurting themselves and something tragic happens, how are you going to feel? I think people should ask themselves that. These turtle riders should ask themselves that, because I couldn't live with myself. I, as a human, could not live with myself if I contributed to somebody else harming themselves by just being vile for no reason. And that's the thing. It's not like they're, doing something on behalf of the truth or transparency, or because you don't need to attack someone's looks. You don't have to call their jobs. You don't have to call their, family members to call them out. That's an excuse. Are you contributing to hurting someone else and their mental health to the point where they're on that edge ready to jump off? Are you? I think people really need to sit down and ask themselves that. Because I'm here to tell you, you are. You are, right? Take that realization and breathe it in. You are. So what are you going to do to change it? Or are you going to do nothing and act like I didn't just say that? Because you guys, we have hate watchers that watch this, right? You guys know that. And I'm speaking to them. Not my chat. My chat knows well what's going on here. They know exactly what kind of bullshit happens day in and day out. But I'm asking the people who are hate watching me, so you can run back to your turtle, tell them everything that I said. What about you as a human? Are you willing to give up your peace of mind for him? Many people have. Never regret it every time. Why don't you ask the numerous people that did? See if they said it was worth it. I promise you they'll say it wasn't. But if some tragedy happened and you contributed to it, how would you feel? Just feel like you did something great, something good? Or would you maybe feel like you should have stopped and realized that you were contributing to something awful, something disgusting? And I don't want to hear the excuses of, well, I didn't know what he was doing behind closed doors. Well, I didn't know it was that bad. Well, I didn't know he was doing X, Y, and Z. You did. You did know because I've told you. You chose not to listen. You chose not to hear me. You chose to say, well, that's not true. She just doesn't like him. Which is such a fucking bullshit excuse, in my opinion. It's such a bullshit excuse. All of the evidence is right there in front of you. It's right there in front of you. And you choose to ignore it. How would you feel if you hurt someone else to the point where they took their own life and you were a part of that? Talk about obsession, Cat Mama. You literally just subscribed to my channel waited 3 minutes to comment, and then commented. That, my friend, is called obsession. All to come here to just get booted out. Now, does that make sense to you, darling? Does that make sense to you? I don't think it does. That's called obsession, dear. What I'm doing is called advocacy. Maybe you should try it sometime. Okay? Maybe you should try it sometime. You literally just subscribed, waited 3 minutes, commented that. Like, let me just point out the irony in your nonsensical bullshit. That's my point. There's the hate watchers right there. Bringing them out of the bushes, my friends. We're bringing them out of the bushes. That's my point, right? You just waited, you subscribed, and then waited 3 minutes to comment that. Why? Why? Because you didn't like what I said about your leader or even about you? Did it hit a nerve? Bet it did. Because you wouldn't have commented if it didn't. Just struck a nerve a little? Yeah? Maybe, just maybe, it's because you're doing something wrong. Maybe, just maybe, it's because you know that I'm right. Sorry, not fucking sorry if it saves a life. See, there's a big difference between me talking about it and the sewer turtle trashing people. I'm trying to stop people from harming themselves. You are just intentionally jumping in on a cult to harm people. Big difference. Giant difference. Giant fucking difference. Flyer was saying Proctor's wife threw him out. Yeah, of course he would say something, but people just parrot him. You know? It's crazy. It's crazy. I took journalism in high school, and it annoys the hell out of me how lightly the term journalist is used. He's definitely not a journalist. He would have to follow journalistic ethics to be a journalist. There are ethics for that. Okay? Ethics. Right? Don't let the door hit you with the good Lord split you. I mean, how irony as the irony as a troll to come in here, subscribe, wait 3 minutes to comment, and then call anybody else obsessed blows my fucking mind. There's a big difference between obsession, right? The obsession, which is what you just did, okay? And advocacy and trying to stop something. So you're telling me I should turn my other cheek, act like it's not happening, not help the victims, and, pretend because you want me to. Because you don't want me to talk about him, so I should just not say anything so that, because he doesn't like it. No. See, I don't even watch his shows. That maybe you could call obsessed if I watched all his shows, but I don't watch his shows. I refuse. I will not. I flat out refuse. I refuse to give him a view. There is a very big difference, between obsession and advocacy. Obsession and not turning a blind eye to harmful behavior. Maybe you need a dictionary to learn the difference there, lovey. Maybe, just maybe. Yeah, well, now she can never come in here again unless she uses a fake account, and we'll just bop her again. So, I mean, what a waste. You just wasted all that time in your life to say something that was there for 7 seconds and then balked to show that you're obsessed. Make it make sense. You made a fool out of yourself. For what? You know what I mean? Make it make sense. I mean, they might not wait, but still, at the same time, you waited the 3 minutes to say something was going to be on the screen, to do your finger push-ups, to do something that was on the screen for 10 seconds, to talk about other people being obsessed. I'm sorry, but there's no chance in hell I would subscribe to someone, wait 3 minutes just to troll and be thrown out. Nope. Was she a member? Was she? I don't even know. Was she? She might have been gifted one. I didn't even notice, but if she was, she probably was gifted it. It was probably like an automatic gift because she watches all the time, but that just tells you that she's a lurker constantly, because otherwise she wouldn't have gotten one. You know what I mean? Like if you subscribe and it gives you one, it's usually because you're watching. No, she's not. She didn't have the thing. No, yeah, she had to subscribe. you know, yeah, that should be enough for really anybody at that point, you know? Yeah, no, she still had to subscribe. Subscribing is free, but you still had to subscribe. You know what I mean? She's doing Christmas cookies. She's been at it all day. I guess so, huh, Sharon? Release those emotional versions. I mean, it's still crazy, though. It's still obsessive. Like, that's still nutty. Who the fuck does that? You subscribe, wait 3 minutes to do finger push-ups for it to be tossed out for you to tell other people they're obsessed. I would never do that. That's such a waste of fucking time. And I'll never get that time back, so why the fuck would I do that? That's crazy talk. Surgery? Oh, no. Okay, well, I want to make sure, because if I don't see you for that many days, I might get worried. I might get worried. So we all hope that you have, you know, a very successful surgery, and we send you all the loving vibes. We have someone else who's having a surgery on Thursday. So you'll both be in my catch-up, I guess. Or you guys will be able to at least watch, maybe, I don't know if you will be able to, but I know the other person will be able to watch. And so they're enjoying being able to watch while they're bedbound, you know? But we wish you all the luck and healing vibes, my friend. You know, it's going to be a full moon. Is that what it is? All the healing vibes, all of them. We send you all of them. Speedy recovery. That's right. We send you all the love. Me too. I love it. I love it so much. And that's what I want it to be, a community. That's what I built it to be. It's exactly what I want it to be, you know? You know, I can smell those cookies from here, even though I can't. I feel like I can, because now I want those cookies. Now I want those cookies. I want the cookies. They're never as good as they are right fresh out of the oven. God damn it. You know, frosting too. Listen, rainbow chip, I'm not gonna lie, favorite frosting. Rainbow chip frosting, confetti cupcakes, rainbow chip cupcakes, those are my favorite. Okay. Absolutely, my friend. We send you all the love and healing vibes you can get. Well, that's a different one. That's a different court date. That's a different one. The 19th. It's a completely different one. He's got court tomorrow for Donna. Beaver Moon, interesting. Cookie Monster, yeah. Nom 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 nom. Cookie. Cookie smelling candles. I have never owned a sugar cookie smelling candle, but every time I go into the store and I smell one that smells like real sugar cookie, I'm like, I want this candle so bad. Then you flip it over and you look at the price and it's like $20, $25, and you're like, never mind, not buying this. Not buying this. Not doing it. Let me see what Julie posted. Mark your calendars. He has a virtual hearing, 11/19 at 1 in Wayne Township Municipal Court, New Jersey, for the criminal harassment charges in Donna's matter. So that's the criminal stuff for Donna. He has the other stuff tomorrow at 1:50 at the same Wayne Township Court. So he will still have that, and then he has November. Oh God, I remind myself. Hold on. That the moon actually will make you feel all different parts of the moon, you know, different parts of the moon. Waning moon, full moon, you know. All right. I know it's either the end of this week or next week that he has another court date for the other victim in New Jersey for her order. Like I said, I wouldn't be surprised. Jeez. But then you still have to buy too, so it's still a hefty price. I wish. Oh, Yankee candles. I think I've ever owned one Yankee candle. One I got for my wedding. That was it. But those are definitely ones that smell amazing. Amazing. I think it's either the end of this week or next week that he's got the one for the other New Jersey victim, and I believe here that that he'll see another. So it's the 12th. So that's next week. He'll have for her order. But I do believe that he might see another criminal charge from all of this. I just don't doubt it at all that he'll see another criminal charge, and I hope they at least, instead of sending a summons, they just arrest him. Bottom line. Beep. Listen, I will not judge, my friend. I love candles. I just don't have the extra funds to buy candles. I wish I did, because I would. They smell amazing. Amazing. But I am also like a fire freak since my fiance died in a house fire way back in the early 2000s. So I like have to be in the same room as the candle. And if I'm not in the same room as the candle, I have to blow it out. I can't walk around my house and have it. So that's usually like I'll have it going in the kitchen when I'm doing dishes or something like that. Because otherwise I start getting freaked out. Can't do it. My favorite ever smell is actually the clean linen smell. It's my favorite smell, but I could totally go for a sugar cookie candle. Oh my God, that would smell so good. Right? Me either, my friend. Me either. Yeah, see, you gotta love candles. Bath and Body Works. Yeah, those, I mean, that store just smells amazing anyway. Bath and Body Works. It's so good. It smells so freaking good. All right, we just hit the 3-hour mark a couple minutes ago. I'm going to wrap this up, my friends. I am. I hate all the spam messages I get on X. It's so ridiculous. The spam messages are kind of out of freaking control. All right. So I'm going to wrap this up. I love your stinking faces. Like I said, if you can, we would definitely love if you could help support the channel. We are just a little channel needing all the love and help we can get. There's a bunch of different ways you can help support us. We have CashApp, Venmo, PayPal, Revolut, Chime. We have a link that you can use your credit or debit card. It's pinned in the chat. It's also in the description of the video. It's also on my X right now, on my Twitter. All the information is on my Twitter right now as well. We have a merch store, as you guys know. We have some things in the merch store, all the things. We have ornaments. We got water bottles. We got hoodies. We got all the things in there. All the things. We got t-shirts. We have blankets. We have wrapping paper. We have all the things. But I hope everybody has an amazing night. It's almost 5 o'clock. It's a late day for us, but oh, I love that, Carol. Light a candle so you're never alone. I love it. It is a good day. It's a good day, but I think everybody needs to think about what I said, right? Think about, yeah, Homework, figure out Discord. All right. Listen, I'm not a huge candy person, but I'm definitely one of those people that loves a good, like, hot pizza or breadsticks once in a while instead of candy. Candles? Yes, candles. All right, I love your stinking faces, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Love you. Bye.